With Game Time Picks, we make buying tickets easy by serving up only the best deals on sports, music, and shows.
What time is it?
It's game time.
32 teams started this season with the same dream of winning the Stanley Cup. And now 8 months later, we are down to just 2 teams. And it's deja vu, as 365 days ago, these 2 teams faced off against each other in this same Stanley Cup final. And now they get a chance to do it again. Will the Florida Panthers cement their legacy as a dynasty in the modern age of the NHL with their second straight Stanley Cup? Or the Edmonton Oilers do something that has not been done for over 30 years, and that is deliver a Stanley Cup to Canada and also, obviously, Edmonton, Alberta. We are going to find out that and so much more starting here tonight with Game 1. What is going on, hockey fans? My name is Neil Villapiano. I am the host of the Devil's State of Mind podcast here on the Hockey Podcast Network. I'm also one of the live watch-along play-by-play voices, if you want to call it. And welcome to a very special live watch-along of Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. It is obviously a rematch of last year's finals, as we have the defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers taking on Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and the Edmonton Oilers in what should be a fantastic series yet again. Both of these teams have done a tremendous amount to get to this point, and you have to give them a lot of credit. And for the Florida Panthers, this is their 3rd straight Stanley Cup appearance. They are looking, as mentioned before, to win their 2nd consecutive Stanley Cup, being the first team since the 2016 and 2017 Pittsburgh Penguins to win back-to-back Stanley Cups. And for the Edmonton Oilers, they've already won several Stanley Cups in their history, but it has been many, many decades since the last time they lifted Lord Stanley's Cup. And it's also been well over now 30 years, 3 decades since the last time the Stanley Cup was awarded to a team in Canada. And so we will see over the next more or less week or two, what will end up being the case. But thank you to everybody for hanging out with me tonight. We're just a few short moments away here from the start of game number 1. They're doing the intros right now and introducing the teams. They'll do the national anthem, and then we'll get right to it. But while you have a chance, make sure to leave a like on this stream, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any live watch-alongs that we do here of the Stanley Cup Finals and so much more. We're doing so much hockey. I'm so excited to be doing this. And thank you to my good buddy Jimmy, who corrected me before. The Tampa Bay Lightning, the other Florida team, is actually the last team to win back-to-back Stanley Cups. They won it in the bubble in 2020, and then they also won it in the shortened 2021-22 season. For some people, they say that those two don't necessarily count, but nonetheless, they very much do. They are in the history books. Thank you for reminding me of that. Really, really do appreciate it. My good buddy RJ here saying hit those likes and subscribe. Really do appreciate it. My good buddy Connor saying I will take Brad Marchand winning another cup over that rat number 97 winning his first one. And I cannot believe I just said that. Connor, in case you don't know, is a huge Vancouver Canucks fan. And I think for all of Canada, other than the people that live in Edmonton, would rather see the Florida Panthers win the Stanley Cup yet again and not see the Edmonton Oilers, be the team that finally brings the Stanley Cup back to Canada. So we shall see. This is going to be very, very, very interesting. This is going to be a fun series. Make sure to also leave not only your score predictions for tonight, which you have until the end of the first period to put your score prediction in, but also I want to see what your guys' overall series prediction is going to be. For myself, I have the Edmonton Oilers winning tonight, but I do have the Florida Panthers winning back-to-back Stanley Cups. I think they're going to win this series in 6. I think in some ways that the Panthers are better than what they were last year, and certainly much better than what they were 2 years ago when they first reached the Stanley Cup Finals not too long ago. Eric is saying, I just realized this second that the Devils logo has an N and J. Who knew? That is a very astute observation on your part. I'm glad that you've been able to discover that. Received all league approvals, NBA, NHL, MLS, and CFL to take 75% ownership of Maple Leaf Sports Entertainment and Raptors, Leafs, TFC, Toronto FC, and Argos, etc. Last step for the deal to close is approval from the CRTC on Indirect Canada. Very, very interesting. Thank you for that information, RJ. Really, really do appreciate it a ton. And who else we got here? My good buddy RJ. Hello, Neil. Let's go Panthers back to back. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Good to see you. I see you also got an Oklahoma City Thunder. I think that's Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. NBA Finals also start very soon. They start tomorrow between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers. That also should be a really, really fun final series in the NBA. But we're obviously here to talk about the Stanley Cup playoffs in game number 1. I will also be live for game number 2 of the series on Friday night as well. And then my good buddy Jimmy, who you guys just saw in the comment section here from the Blue Seats, who New York Rangers podcast, he will be live on Sunday for game number 3. And then we also have Grant doing game number 4 of this series. So yeah, I'm hoping that after game 2, it won't be the last live watch long that I do, but I wanted to definitely get in here and do a couple of these Stanley Cup Finals games. This is obviously the pinnacle of this entire sport. This whole long season comes down to this final series, best of 7, and the winner gets to hoist Lord Stanley's Cup. Jared, I guess obviously you jumped in after I said it, but again, I have the Edmonton Oilers winning this game here tonight, game number 1. They are at home, but I do have the Florida Panthers winning in 7 games. And again, make sure to leave your predictions in the chat as well. I will star them and we'll see if anybody gets a score prediction correct tonight. I think that would be a lot of fun. Really, really looking forward to it. I can't tell you guys again how excited I am to get this series underway. It's going to be a lot of fun. Only difference from last year, other than obviously both teams have a couple of different players than last year, is the fact that this series is starting in Edmonton as opposed to last year it started in Florida. So I don't know how much of a difference that will make, but if it does get to another game 7 like it did last year, Edmonton will have the opportunity to play that game 7 in their home arena as opposed to being on the road. But again, as the old saying goes, you're not in trouble until you lose a game at home. And we know what the Florida Panthers are capable of. 8-2 on the road this year, coming off an absolutely dominant Eastern Conference final against the Carolina Hurricanes, in which they took 3 different games in Carolina on the road. It was very, very impressive. And so this is a team that's very, very good on the road, as we know. Starting goaltending matchup tonight, no surprise, Sergei Bobrovsky in net for the Florida Panthers. I think right now he's definitely up there, one of the top 3 favorites to win the Conn Smythe, especially if the Florida Panthers do win the series. And it's Stuart Skinner, who started off these playoffs rough, but really bounced back after coming in for the injured Calvin Pickard. He is 6-1 in his last 7 starts with a 1.41 goals against average, a .944 save percentage, and 3 shutouts. So he is playing at a very high level. Folks, I hope you're as excited as I am. This is the beginning of what should be a really, really fun, fantastic Stanley Cup final. Here we go. The puck is dropped. Yes, it's been dropped, and we are underway in game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. So really going to be interesting to see how both teams come out here in the early going with all this, because, you want to see if these teams are going to spend a lot of time getting acclimated, or if they're just going to, if they're just going to get right into it here as the Panthers have it in their own zone, get to top of the point. Mikkola with a drive that's redirected wide of Skinner. Some good pressure here early on from Florida in the offensive zone. Puck is loose. And now it's almost taken away by Barkov, and that one is stopped as it's knocked down with a high stick. We get our first stoppage of play of the night. Also, shout out to Yahoo Sports' game channel. This is what I'm using for the live play-by-play here that you can see on the right of your screen. Jared has the Panthers winning in 7. Interesting, but he does have the Oilers winning tonight by the score of 3-1. Some pretty fairly big news out of the NHL this today from the Colorado Avalanche. They decided to keep Brock Nelson after trading for him, and as you guys can see here, opportunity coming the other way for Edmonton. Draisaitl in the right corner. Both teams whacking at it. Puck is still loose. Now it's picked up. Gets it over to the top of the point now. As a drive by Wallman with a shot that would stop. Rebound, try another opportunity, and they score! Leon Draisaitl less than 2 minutes in, and the Oilers have struck first at home. It's 1-0. Just a minute 6 into this game number 1. What a start from the team from Edmonton, Alberta, and it's their superstar from Germany, Leon Draisaitl, that gets the series first goal. So Jake Wallman took a shot. Bobrovsky stopped the original shot, but he couldn't control the rebound. Kasperi Kapanen took a shot that was saved by Bobrovsky. He went over to the right side to where Leon Draisaitl was, and Draisaitl with an open net just bangs it home and gets the Oilers on the board first. So yeah, quickly going back to what RJ put out. Brock Nelson signing a 3-year contract to stay with the Colorado Avalanche, a 3-year contract at $7.5 million per year. That's 22.5 over those 3 years. It's going to be weird seeing Brad in the Stanley Cup Finals. I mean, I guess it's weird for Bruins fans not seeing Brad Marchand in a Bruins jersey in the Stanley Cup Finals, but this is the first Stanley Cup Finals that Brad Marchand's been in since 2019, and he's looking for his second Stanley Cup. He won his first as a fairly young player all the way back in 2011. He's one of the only guys that still remain from that team. Just shot there from Kulikov just wide of Skinner. Now the Panthers looking to put some pressure here. Lundell top of the point now to Kulikov. Back to Lundell right side. Lundell with a shot, and that one's deflected wide. Backhand try stopped, and a rebound is snuffed out by Skinner from Lundell. We get a face-off here. So some good pressure here by this line of Florida, but Skinner is able to deny them again. Good to see you, Danelle. Hope you are doing well this evening. Thank you, as always, for hanging out with us. We really, really do appreciate it. You do have a question for me. Who do you have winning the finals? The Panthers winning for second straight year of the Oilers and the Canucks and the Canada drought, and get revenge payback on the loss from the Panthers. As I've mentioned several times, and obviously fair enough, you just joined in. I do have the Oilers winning this game, which seems to be going pretty well early on here. But I do have the Florida Panthers winning this series and winning the Stanley Cup in 6 games. Leon Draisaitl has now moved his point streak in these playoffs up to 7 with that goal, as he has continued to be in a really, really hot position right now, and he gets the Oilers off to a fantastic start on just their 3rd shot of the night. Both teams' shots are even currently at 3 aside. I do also have the famous Villa Piano wine with me here tonight, because I'm sure someone's going to ask about it, but I do have it with me, and I'm just going to say cheers to all of you for a fantastic year, and thank you guys, as always, for hanging out with us. Sam Reinhart in the right corner zone, and he'll dump it out, just out of the reach of Evan Rodriguez. Now the Oilers will control back in their own zone here. Arvidsson will flip it in, and it goes right to Bobrovsky, and he'll just calmly cover it, and we'll get a face-off here. 17-10 to go in the first period. If you missed the beginning of the game, you already missed the goal. 66 seconds in, Leon Draisaitl gave the Oilers the early 1-0 lead. Now asking, how's the family? Everyone's doing very well. Everyone's just relaxing, having a good time. I actually have my brother to the right of me, laying with a blanket, watching this game. He also has, what do you have, the Yankees going on over there? Yeah, it's the Yankees. You could talk, it's fine. He has the Yankees game as well. Florida actually leads the NHL, leads the Stanley Cup playoffs in goals by defensemen with 15. Edmonton is second on that list with 11. So very active offensive play by the Panthers and also the Oilers defensemen, which is very, very key. But yes, no, everyone's doing just fine. Thank you so much for asking. Fortunately for me, Erica, my wine is essentially free, but I do appreciate it though nonetheless. Puck back in the Florida zone, and it gets dumped out as both teams will make a change here. Corey Perry, this is his 6th career Cup final. This is the 5th one in the last 6 years that he's been in, which is crazy because his first Stanley Cup final was in 2007, then went a very long time without being in it. And now he has been the king of getting to the Stanley Cup finals. And once again, he is looking for his 2nd Stanley Cup of his career as we get I think, do we have a penalty here? Either a penalty or an icing, and I just missed it. Trying to get a look here real quick. There's Trent Frederick, another former Boston Bruin. So we have a couple former teammates who are facing up against one another. Brad Marchand again with Florida. And then, as I just mentioned, Trent Frederick with the Edmonton Oilers. And now Chris Knobloch is flipping out on the bench as I think maybe we do have a penalty here. The legendary Wes McCauley signaling, it looks like, to the Florida bench. I think it might be too many men. Doesn't appear to be the case. Maybe it was just a mistake on calling it icing there because the faceoff ended up being at center ice. Anyway, as we're back going here, as now the Oilers back in their own zone, flip it up to Kasperi Kapanen. Now to Draisaitl. Draisaitl tries to chip it in. Good defensive play there by Florida to get it out. Kulak back over his defensive partner. Now back to Kulak on the right side. Kulak up the center of the ice. And it's flipped in by Darnell Nurse, but it's intercepted for a moment by Florida. And it's chipped back into the offensive zone for Edmonton. That puck is loose. Kapanen with a shot, and that one gets fought off by Bobrovsky. Puck is now in the right corner here. Draisaitl behind the net, and a big hit by Evander Kane on Aaron Ekblad behind the net. Very solid hit. First big hit of the night for either team. And now Gustav Forsling comes up the left side here out of the Florida zone, and he'll dump it in. But a big hit there. The rally towels are out for the Edmonton faithful. They like to see that from Evander Kane, who missed the majority of the season, as almost an opportunity on a 2-on-1 for Edmonton. But Evander Kane did miss the majority of the season with an injury, came back in the playoffs, and I don't think there's any debate that he's probably the freshest player that's still playing in the Stanley Cup playoffs right now. Connor says Bobrovsky was robbed of the Conn Smythe last season. He should get it properly this time if he continues his imperious form. I can definitely see that because he's played very, very well this year in the playoffs. And yeah, you definitely could say that he can make an argument. Now Sam Bennett comes up the left side. Bennett with a shot that gets fought off by Skinner. Might have been redirected a little bit on the defensive play. I think that might have been Connor McDavid that got back on that line change as we get an icing here against the Oilers. And it was Connor McDavid that was able to disrupt that shot from Sam Bennett just a little bit to keep him from getting a solid shot and maybe even one past Stuart Skinner. But yeah, no, I mean, it's going back to what you were saying, Connor, about Bobrovsky. Yeah, he had a tremendous final last year. Obviously, other than that one game, I think it was game 6, he really struggled. But nonetheless, yeah, I mean, look, McDavid had a great year in his own right. It was just the second time in a long time that a player from the losing team ended up winning the Conn Smythe. But we'll see if Bobrovsky can get his due this time and help the Panthers win their 2nd consecutive Stanley Cup. As do we have another icing here against Edmonton? We do. 14:09 to go in the first. 1-0 Oilers, thanks to a goal from Leon Draisaitl. I don't like how the NHL does the finals. This series should be on national TV, ABC, ESPN, not TNT. I know that they rotate, but should be on national TV. That's all I'm saying. To be fair, Danelle, TNT is also national TV, especially if you ask a lot of NBA fans. I think that they would also agree with that. especially because TNT had the better pre and post game crew inside the NBA, which really sucks that it's no longer continuing. But nonetheless, this is still national TV in my opinion. But I could see why people maybe would not be thrilled about the constant back and forth. But I think it's still good for the NHL. They get a lot more revenue from just from basically just getting these from having more than one network. You see that the NBA Finals is on It's on ABC/ESPN, MLB World Series on Fox, and NFL Super Bowl at CBS, NBC, Fox, ABC. Meanwhile, the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs, finals. No, I get it. But also, you've just kind of proven the argument as well against it. We're saying that, like, look, the Super Bowl is on a different channel every single year because they rotate all of them. The NBA finals is always going to be on ESPN, as we have a penalty here against Corey Perry as his stick accidentally came up and clipped Forsling in the mouth. And so the Panthers will get the first power play of the night, looking to tie this game. And it is a 1-0 Oilers lead because just 66 seconds in, Leon Draisaitl gave the Oilers the early 1-0 lead. But the whole thing here that I look at with this is that I don't really think it's that big of a deal. And also, to be fair, for TNT, this is also a good thing. And for the NHL, it's a good thing because ESPN then can just put all of their focus into the sport that they really care about, and that is the NBA. And because they're always going to do the NBA Finals regardless of what the situation might be. Whereas with the NHL, you can have more than one channel, and I don't necessarily think that that's a bad thing, honestly. I really don't. Connor says, do you know that since the lockout, the Buffalo Sabres have won more series than the Leafs? I have seen that stat, Connor. I think I saw it several times after the Leafs got eliminated in round 2. Which is really crazy because we have not seen the Buffalo Sabres in the playoffs for a very, very, very long time. How do you expect people to get into the NHL if you have the finals on cable TV and not? There's also things like to be fair, Danelle, there's things like what I'm doing right now, which is doing a live watch along of the Stanley Cup Finals. There's also different things, and you know what? TNT/TBS is also not a bad network in any way, shape, or form. In many ways, they're just as good production-wise as ESPN. And the only reason that people could complain about it not being on ESPN is because ESPN is quote-unquote the worldwide leader in sports, which honestly, they don't really deserve that title anymore because half the time they don't care about any sports and put enough coverage into other sports other than just the NBA and the NFL. And that's just the honest truth. So I'd much rather have it here on TNT. I don't think that it hurts the ratings at all, but I do understand your argument though. I just will respectfully disagree with what you're saying. But nonetheless, I think that it's still fine for the NHL either way. So here we go. As the Panthers have the first power play of the night after a 2-minute high-sticking call against Corey Perry. So we'll see if the Panthers can convert here. They've had much more success on the power play on the road as Ekblad with a shot in the slot gets knocked away. Seth Jones tried to get it to Matthew Tkachuk, but it comes out of the zone. Tkachuk now over to Barkov. Now back to Tkachuk up the center of the ice. Dumps it off over to Seth Jones. So now the Panthers will set up. Now over to Tkachuk, right side. Tkachuk with a shot, and that one gets fought off by Skinner. Seth Jones now with the puck. Left side now to Reinhart. Sam Reinhart now back to Seth Jones. Now a deflection there by Ekblad just goes wide of the net. Oilers get to it, and they'll clear. Seth Jones coming over at the trade, right around the trade deadline from the Chicago Blackhawks. And he has really found his game again since coming over to the Panthers, which is great. I'm also impressed that Sam Reinhart is playing as well as he is, despite getting hurt earlier in the Eastern Conference Finals, and it looked like he was going to be out for a while. But no, he's playing right now. Unfortunately for the Edmonton Oilers, Zach Hyman, who got hurt late in the Western Conference Finals against Dallas, had surgery last week and will not play for the rest of the year. Now Nate Schmidt over the right side. Now to Rodriguez with a shot that gets blocked in front. And then it's cleared again by the Oilers with 30 seconds to go on the man advantage. Nate Schmidt now slowly making his way up. Tries to get it to Rodriguez. Bennett now controls it. But he gets it just out of the reach of Marchand. Bennett tried to keep it in, but now here come the Oilers the other way. Might be a 2-on-1. They come in, trying to make a feed, gets broken up. McDavid with a shot that just goes wide. Oh, McDavid had a little bit of an opening there, shorthanded, but he couldn't get it past Bobrovsky. Tried to get it past the Kapanen, but it got broken up before he can make that pass. But the Oilers are going to kill off this first power play of the night. And so that's a good start here as they still lead it 1-0 as Draisaitl tried to dump it in and get a head start, but it's broken up. And now the Panthers look to come the other way. Puck near the penalty boxes, and now comes out to center ice, where Mikkola will slowly dump it out. Mikkola gets it back and gets it to the offensive zone. Jesper Boqvist on the right side. Boqvist with a shot gets blocked. Puck is loose in the slot, but the Oilers are able to clear it for a moment. Evander Kane knocked it down with his stick. Now it goes behind the net, where Ekholm will try to dump it out. There's Jonathan Klingberg as well. It's crazy that Klingberg is, where he was in Dallas to like where he is now, where I think it's a 1-year deal that he's currently on with Edmonton. It's kind of crazy, like, the way things turned for him. But now he has a chance to win a Stanley Cup. That shot there goes wide of Skinner. Puck is in the right corner here in the Edmonton zone. Darnell Nurse dumps that all the way down, but that'll be enough for an icing here against Edmonton as we've just reached the halfway point of this first period. So Danelle asking me, who do I have winning the NBA Finals? I have the Thunder winning in, I'm going to say Thunder in 6. That's going to be my best guess, but I could definitely see it going 7 as Reinhart with a shot. It gets fought off by Skinner. But yeah, I think it should be a really fun series. It's unique. It's new. I'm really excited to watch it. Lot of really different storylines, and we get to see if somebody gets their first Stanley Cup as Boqvist gets obliterated by an Edmonton player there. I think that might have been Draisaitl. No, that was Jake Wallman, that laid the body there on Boqvist right in front of the Panther bench. Imagine if Marner goes to Chicago, has an imperious season. Connor, you really like using the word imperious. That's now the second time already you've used it. It gets them close to the playoffs. It will confirm that you'd be cursed as a Leaf because he'd be way more appreciated than his own market. The funny thing about it is that I think he definitely wants the opportunity. It's a shot there by the Panthers, and they score. Carter Verhaeghe ties it up for Florida, and they get their first goal of the finals with 9:11 to go in the first. So Jake Wallman turned the puck over in his own zone, and Carter Verhaeghe, who continues to be a dominant playoff performer, is the one that gets it going here for Florida. Chuck makes a nice feed to Reinhart through the slot. Looks like it might have hit something in front. I don't know if it hit Sam Bennett or hit maybe Kulak. Might have hit Wallman or something. It's kind of hard to see. We'll see it on a slow replay here. Actually, this might be Sam Bennett's goal. I think he might have gotten a piece of it while he was down on one knee in front of the net. Another replay here. Yeah, that definitely went off Sam Bennett. That's going to be Sam Bennett's goal, not for Hagee, but nonetheless, it's going to be a tie hockey game, and Sam Bennett continuing his dominant playoff performance. And the refs are actually looking at this to make sure that there wasn't any goalie interference. But yeah, seeing Marner go to a smaller market would be one of the least surprising things I could see. That's what I'm saying. Like, ESPN is not what it used to be. Let's go on. Mike Medberg, or Medberg. I hope I'm saying that right. I do apologize. He comes in saying Oilers in 5, and then for the NBA Finals, he says Pacers in 7. Looks like he's actually changing his mind. He's saying Oilers in 6. Interesting. But thank you so much, Mike, for hanging out with us. Really do appreciate it. So let's see here as Wes McCauley giving the call. So I think that they still gave the goal to the Panthers here. I don't think it was any goalie interference. Not that I saw. But again, looks like it's going to be Sam Bennett's goal. And ties this game up at 1. Oh, very nice to meet you, Mike. Do apologize. I understand that we get different types of people in here depending on the person that's doing it. But thank you so much for hanging out with us anyway. Jimmy will be actually on for game 3 of the finals on Sunday night. So you will get a chance to see him then. So the Oilers actually challenged this for goalie interference. They were unsuccessful. And not only is it tied, but now the Panthers are already on to their second power play of the night. So we'll see here if they can capitalize and get their first lead of this series, as now Ekblad gets over to Seth Jones, and the Panthers will go back and start this power play. Barkov slowly making his way up the left side. He stops, and he'll wrap it around the boards. Ekholm tries to get it out. He cannot. Puck is loose here, and Ekblad's stick was being held, but no call. And now the Oilers look to try to come the other way here. They'll dump it into the Florida zone. Where Matthias Janmark fighting along there, and it gets broken up. Sam Bennett, again, it is his goal, his 11th of the playoffs for Hagee, and Matthew Tkachuk with the assists on that tying goal. As now McDavid, shorthanded, comes the other way. McDavid stops, and he'll just dump it back to his defensive team, and Darnell Nurse will get to it. Nurse with space gets it to the offensive zone, and Nurse with a light backhand shot to Bobrovsky, who will just easily play it away. Schmidt now with it. 8 minutes to go in this first period. Schmidt now up to Sam Bennett with the most recent goal. 40 seconds to go in the Florida power play. Now puck in the right corner where Kapanen's able to backhand it easily out of the zone. Panthers may have one more chance here on this power play if they can set it up. Schmidt now up to Bennett. Sam Bennett, he gets the puck loose for a moment. Now gets it top of the point. Schmidt with it now. Schmidt feeds it over. One-time shot, and they score! Oh, what a beautiful feed! And it's Brad Marchand who buries it past Skinner on the power play. And the Panthers have their first lead of the night. It's 2-1 Florida. Beautiful pass from Nate Schmidt on the top point right side to a wide open Brad Marchand. And the veteran does not miss, going top shelf where Mama hides the cookies and gives the Panthers the lead. Great shot from the veteran and soon-to-be future Hall of Famer, Brad Marchand, with a big-time goal right there. Beautiful goal. What's going on, Kyle? Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for hanging out with us. If you feel like coming on, which you don't have to, you're not obliged to, but if you feel like coming on to hang out with me, you're more than welcome to. But Brad Marchand, with his first goal of the finals against the Panthers, their first lead. So Oilers scored first, just a little over a minute into this game. That made it 1-0. It was Leon Draisaitl that scored. But the Panthers have scored the last two, thanks to goals from Sam Bennett. And then on the power play, Brad Marchand. And again, this just proves how tough this Panthers team is and how much you have to be prepared at all times and not give them too many opportunities. Jared says, I thought it was goalie interference to me. It didn't seem like it to me. Personally, it didn't seem like enough where it could have been. And the refs agreed, and they gave the Panthers a power play. And they made the Oilers pay for sure. And again, like I said, I agree with, we both agree about ESPN. Did you hear what I did to the goalies things? I'm not sure what you mean, Mike, at all. But the Bruins do get the first round pick from the Brad Marchand trade. Yeah, I believe if I'm not mistaken, Jared, I think it was a conditional second that would become a first if they made it to at least the conference finals. So that's I guess that's like the silver lining, is that they do get a first round pick. Kyle says, Attaway Knob talking about Knob block. Blah, way to give a gift of a power play goal. We already know who Kyle does not want to see win the Stanley Cup, given the fact that he is a fan of the other team from Alberta, which is understandable. But a great response from the Florida Panthers. One that, again, is just not that surprising, but just a great response. So now if you're the Oilers, you got to find a way to settle down here. You've let 2 goals happen just like that, and now you're trailing. Got to find a way to settle here and try to get that tying goal. And it's crazy because it's only the first period. Kyle says, F the Oilers. Fair enough. There you go. That's all you need to know. Definitely Jim Hiller. Nice. Very funny. Very inspirational. Very inspirational indeed. Face off here to the right of Bobrovsky. Just goes wide. Oilers actually are on the power play. And I think, well, no, the power play's over. Because just 6 seconds in, Corey Perry again is charged with a penalty. So the Oilers were on a power play, just coming back from commercial break. And then Corey Perry unintentionally trips Sam Reinhart in the Florida zone. And so now we will skate 4 aside for the next minute 54. And then the Panthers will have a 6-second power play, which I have to say just should not count as a power play because it's like 6 seconds. And what are they supposed to do in 6 seconds? I mean, granted, it's probably still enough time to score, but I think I don't think it's enough. But the Oilers' first attempt on a power play is already over. Lasts just 6 seconds. And do we have another delayed penalty? Yes, we do. And this time it's against Florida. So it looks like the Oilers will indeed go to the power play, as now Aaron Ekblad is going to the box for tripping Leon Draisaitl. So now we have a 4-on-3 power play opportunity for Edmonton for a minute 36 with 6:56 to go in the first. So we just had 3 penalties called in the span of, what, a minute? Not even? Got to read that again. Oh, okay. All right. Now I got it, Mike. Okay, that's actually kind of funny. Okay, that's actually kind of funny. I'll give you that one. And I'm happy for Team USA to win the gold from the hockey tournament. Yeah, they did. They won they won the men's world championships for the first time in 93 years, which is really big. And you'd like to hope gives them some momentum going into next year's Winter Olympics in Milano, Italy, which is going to be a lot of fun. And believe me, guys, we will be live for a lot of those games in the Olympics when we get to that point. So minute 35 to go here. Oilers on a 4-on-3 power play. That's where we're at right now. Face off to the right of Bobrovsky. Gets it top of the point now to Bouchard. Bouchard right side now to Draisaitl. Top point to Bouchard. Now over to McDavid left side. McDavid walks his way out. Beats it in front. And that one's deflected by Nugent Hopkins, but a save by Bobrovsky. Draisaitl settles it. Draisaitl now over to McDavid. McDavid, spin around, top point to Bouchard. Bouchard with it, still with it. Rich shot deflected wide, trying to feed it to Nugent Hopkins there, but couldn't connect. Sharp angle try is blocked. McDavid recovers. McDavid with it now. McDavid now to Bouchard. Bouchard, rich shot, and that one gets fought off by Bobrovsky. McDavid controls it, tries to feed it to Draisaitl, and that gets deflected out of play with 6:15 to go in the first, 55 seconds to go on the Oilers' 4-on-3 power play. That was actually a really good shot there by Bouchard, just a better save from Sergei Bobrovsky. Both goalies have unfortunately already given up a goal, but I think all the nerves and everything at this point are probably gone. Oilers control it again. Bouchard fakes the slap shot to McDavid. McDavid spins around, resets, gets it top of the point. McDavid now with it. McDavid still with it. McDavid, wrist shot, and that one goes wide of the glove of Bobrovsky. Now Nugent Hopkins right corner. Now to Draisaitl. Draisaitl top of the point to McDavid. McDavid waits. Draisaitl one-time shot goes wide of the net. Bouchard now with it again, top of the point. Bouchard waits. Lost it for a second, gets it back to McDavid. Top of the point now to Bouchard. Left side to Draisaitl. Draisaitl drops it down to McDavid. McDavid with a little space, waits, tries to feed it to Draisaitl, gets it to him. Draisaitl back to McDavid. McDavid now right face-off done. McDavid to Bouchard with a drive, and that one goes wide. Rebound try is stopped by Bobrovsky. Oilers control it here. Power play is up. McDavid now to Bouchard, 4-on-4. McDavid, now to Draisaitl, waits, feeds it in front there, stopped by Bobrovsky. Reinhart gets to it. He'll get it to Seth Jones, and Jones will calmly flip it out. So the Oilers keeping a lot of time in that offensive zone, but Bobrovsky with a couple of saves, a couple of good blocks by the Panthers, and they deny the Oilers there. Oilers come back in. Evander Kane with a shot that gets blocked in front. We are now at even strength, so both teams could not convert on power plays, even though, again, the Panthers lasted all of 6 seconds, if that. But it remains a 2-1 lead for the Panthers here with 4.5 minutes to go in the opening frame. Bennett up the center of the ice, drops into Mikkola. Mikkola with a shot that gets fought off by the glove of Skinner. And now the Oilers look to come the other way, as now they'll come in and dump it around the boards to the right side, where Florida will get to it first. Bennett with a nice feed up now to Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe around a defender. Now the right corner. Left corner now, and Woolman gets hit by Sam Bennett. Now that puck's in the left side here. Klingberg. Now all the way to the other side to Victor Arvidsson. Arvidsson almost turned that puck over in a dangerous spot. And Arvidsson gets it back. He's over the left side here. Here they come again. Matthias Janmark with a drive that gets fought off by Bobrovsky. Turnaround shot there is stopped and covered by Bobrovsky. And we have some pleasantries after the whistle here. A couple of good shots and a great turnaround shot there by Arvidsson. But Bobrovsky stops them both and keeps the Panthers in front here 2-1. Connor saying, shout out to my AHL affiliate, the Abbotsford WHL, contesting their first ever Western Conference Finals in the Calder Cup playoffs against the Texas Stars. So good luck to them, as we are now into the semifinals of, or the conference finals, really, of the AHL playoffs. That's very, very cool. I think it's been a pretty good game so far. I mean, obviously, we've already had 3 goals. We've had several penalties. We've gotten pretty much everything at this point, and we're still not even through the first period. But nonetheless, this is going pretty much exactly the way I expected. And I don't want to say that there's a rivalry brewing between Florida and Edmonton, even though that would be really funny because of how far distance-wise, flying-wise it is between these two teams. But especially when you're facing the same team you faced just 365 days later, I can understand there's amount of dislike. Also, this is the first time that both teams have faced each other in back-to-back years in Stanley Cup Finals since 2008 and 2009 with the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Detroit Red Wings. I'm getting very tired of these Jennifer Coolidge Discover commercials. If you're in America, I just feel like it's massively overplayed. But yeah, I feel like I see it every single day, and it's crazy. Connor saying, yeah, if they make the final, they can win it for the first time ever and show the big boys on the big bucks in Vancouver how to win something. LOL. I think it's a good thing in many ways if your AHL team can win a championship, because it shows that you have a lot of good players in your farm system that could eventually come up and be very productive in the NHL. Frederick with a shot that gets blocked. Puck comes out and deflects up in the air. Wide of Bobrovsky. He didn't see it. Some good forechecking here by Edmonton. That's puck knocked down by Frederick, but then it's taken away by Florida, and they'll dump it out. Kulak now slows it and comes back the other way. Kulak will dump it into the right side. Gustav Forsling along Corey Perry there. Perry's got to be careful. He's already been called for 2 different penalties in this game. That shot there, a stop. Rebound try is covered by Bobrovsky, as Corey Perry, as I keep mentioning it, as he nearly was able to tie it up there. It's funny with Corey Perry that people are acting like he didn't win a Stanley Cup, but because it was so long ago, i.e. 2007, when I was a mere 10 years old, was the last time that he lifted Lord Stanley's Cup. And that was when Teemu Selanne, the Finnish Flash, was at the end of his career. Or getting closer. I mean, he also played until 2014, so really it wasn't the end of his career. But nonetheless, I mean, he played a very long time in the league. Face off to the left here of Sergei Bobrovsky in the Panthers zone here with 3 minutes to go in the first. Bouchard with it. Bouchard with a shot through traffic, but it gets fought off by the left leg pad of Bobrovsky. Sharp angle try, hits the side of the net. Lusterina whacks at it, trying to get it out. Both teams fighting for it along the boards. Bouchard gets it back. Bouchard now tried to feed it over to McDavid, gets broken up, but Corey Perry regains it now to McDavid. Connor McDavid behind the net, feeds it in front there, and that one is stopped off a soft shot from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and then he has a nice little face wash to Brad Marchand. 2:37 remaining in the first period. Still 2-1 Florida. I mean, that's a pass. Is a pass that only someone like Connor McDavid could make, honestly, because that was a tremendous one through a couple of players. It got it to Nugent-Hopkins, and unfortunately, Nuge could not get enough of it to get a clean shot. He got a shot on nonetheless. And speaking of shots on goal right now, 16-5. 16-5 in favor of the Oilers. So the Oilers, you could definitely make an argument that they have been the better team in terms of getting pucks on net and creating traffic. But Bobrovsky, after giving up that early goal, just 66 seconds into this game, has seemed to really settle in. And if you're Stuart Skinner, doesn't look great. Doesn't look great as you've only saved 3 of the 5 shots you've faced. But I'm sure that the Panthers will find a way to get some more shots on net, as Forsling knocked that down with a high stick with 2:21 to go. Sam Bennett and Leon Draisaitl had a little cross-checking, pushing and shoving there. And then looks like Brad Marchand, as only Brad Marchand would do, as he's coming off the ice, gives a nice little shove with his right arm to Connor McDavid. This is what Marchand does. He just gets in your head. And that's all you could say. Face-off one here by Florida, and they'll dump it out. We'll see if either team can maybe find the back of the net one more time before the end of this period. As Ekblad with a shot that gets blocked by Woman up high. That got him good as he has hunched over, and he's going to slowly make his way to the bench. I think it caught him up in the chest, close to the neck area. But he is hunched over on the bench right now. Broken stick there for Edmonton, but they're able to control it. Now Klingberg up to Kasperi Kapanen. Left side now. Gets it up. Evander Kane tried to feed it to Kulak, got broken up. Around the boards, right side out of Draisaitl. Tries to feed it in the slot to Kapanen, gets broken up. Puck behind the Florida net, where Ekblad will control it with 90 seconds to go in this first period. Connor's saying, Oilers are still the imperfect team. They're a mix of cars wielded together, the front of a Ferrari with the back of a rusty DeLorean. Again, Connor with the very specific description of something, and this time with how the Edmonton Oilers roster is constructed. That was impressive, Connor. I'll give you that. Second Stanley Cup rematch in the past 40 years. And this is the 40th one that we've had in the history of the NHL. But again, as I mentioned, the last one that we had was in 08-09 with Detroit and Pittsburgh. 50 seconds to go in this first period. Puck goes all the way back down to the Edmonton zone, and it'll be an icing here against Nate Schmidt. Be great for the Oilers. They could find a way to get a late goal here and grab that momentum going into the first intermission. Face off to the right of Bobrovsky in the Florida zone. I love that Wes McCauley's doing this, by the way, because Wes McCauley's the GOAT. I think he is universally considered to be everyone's favorite NHL ref. I mean, granted, NHL refs are not liked very much, but I think a lot of people certainly like Wes McCauley. And it's not even because he's a good ref, but because of just his antics and his entertainment as a ref. Puck back into the Edmonton zone where Ekholm will control with 25 seconds to go in the first. Ekholm now to Bouchard. Now up to Draisaitl. Feeds over to McDavid. McDavid comes into the zone, but Draisaitl's offsides. Thank you again, RJ. Yes, continue to hit that like and subscribe if you have not already. Really does help out the channel as we are slowly approaching 4,000 subscribers here on THPN. Connor, Toronto hates everything. Honestly, right? Like, do we even have to debate this? Like, you and I both know it. Toronto just hates everything, including their own players. What's going on, Andrew? Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Do appreciate it. And as always, don't forget to hit the like button. 10 seconds to go in the first period here. Panthers take a soft shot by Rodriguez, easily stopped by Skinner. 3 seconds to go, and that will do it for the first period of play as that shot right at the horn gets stopped by Skinner. And that will officially do it for the first period. So, the Oilers struck first 66 seconds in, thanks to a goal from Leon Draisaitl. But then later on in the period, Sam Bennett, and then just moments later on the power play, Brad Marchand scored the next two for Florida and give them the 2-1 lead going into the first intermission. I believe they were 0-11 in the postseason when he officiated. That's a crazy stat for the Leafs. And I'm doing very well, Andrew. Thank you so much for asking, and thank you again for hanging out with us. And what do you guys think so far of this game? I think from the first period outlook, I think, you got to feel fairly good if you're Edmonton. I think for the most part, you played a pretty good first period, but you just gave too many opportunities to Florida there. You gave up the tying goal off a turnover, which is not great, but then you made the choice to challenge that goal for goalie interference. It didn't work out. And then as the power play was coming to an end, Brad Marchand was able to make the Oilers pay. And again, that's just with the Panthers. You can't give them too many chances or they will make you pay. And a lot of stuff to clean up for both teams, honestly. I think for Florida, even though you are winning, I don't think you're playing yet at the level that you can be playing at. And I think that there's a lot more to reach. And I'm sure that Paul Maurice will, let the guys know that for sure. But we will dive into all of that a little bit more and other topics as well when we get back from this commercial break.
Whether you're looking for courtside or upper deck, opening day or opening night, comedy or concerts. With Game Time Picks, we make buying tickets easy by serving up only the best deals on sports, music, and shows.
What time is it?
It's game time. Whether you're looking for courtside or upper deck, opening day or opening night, comedy or concerts. With Game Time Picks, we make buying tickets easy by serving up only the best deals on sports, music, and shows.
What time is it?
It's game time. Whether you're looking for courtside or upper deck, opening day or opening night, comedy or concerts. With Game Time Picks, we make buying tickets easy by serving up only the best deals on sports, music, and shows.
What time is it?
It's game time.
And welcome everybody here to our first intermission report of this Stanley Cup Finals game number one. As in case you want to know, that's my dad that's standing right there. That he just awkwardly walked away. That was strange nonetheless. But again, we are here in the first intermission report of game number one of the Stanley Cup Finals. And after 20 minutes of play, Florida Panthers have a 2-1 lead. Oilers struck first 66 seconds in on a goal from Leon Draisaitl, and then the Panthers later on in the period, thanks to goals from Sam Bennett, and then moments later on the power play from Brad Marchand, were able to grab the 2-1 lead, and that's where things stand. Trying to catch up with all the comments here because I feel like I missed a bunch while we were on break. I like this from Andrew. Bennett goal is no goal to me. Well, I can understand a lot of people saying that it's not a goal, but the refs determined that it was a good goal, and then they gave a power play to Florida because the Oilers challenged it. I agree with this, but it's also to be expected. But also, you know what's funny about it, Connor, is that it's actually a good thing when that happens because it means that like the stream is actually popular, and then the bots will then just like enter and be annoying. But it's fine. It's totally fine. Fix is in. Zebras are. This is Kevin Brown. Kevin saying, it's going on, Kevin, by the way. Good to see you, man. Fix is in. Zebras already given power play after goals scored. It depends on who you ask, right? It's just view what it is. So my brother here, who's sitting to my right, he actually asked a question that I thought was kind of interesting. What did you ask? You asked how much is Wayne Gretzky worth? Like, what is his net worth? So here's what I want to do. I want you to look it up, and I want to give my audience time to try to guess what the net worth is of the great one. I would love to know this myself. I think this could be kind of a fun thing to figure out. And I understand that people can easily Google this without, me checking it. That's true. I mean, you could also just tell me, but it's fine either way. Because if I start seeing specific numbers, I'll know that people looked it up. RJ with a little bit of NHL update. Theater round one, first round of the NHL entry draft, June 27th, 7 p.m. on ESPN and ESPN Plus. And then rounds 2 to 7 will be on June 28th, starting at 12 p.m. on NHL Network and ESPN Plus. The NHL draft this year will be in the City of Angels in Los Angeles. Connor saying the game is to be as expected. Edmonton will dominate game one, but they will not beat a red-hot Bobrovsky. Most they'll get is maybe 2 to 3 goals. Well, they've already gotten one. You still have 40 minutes to go. But yeah, when you do run into a hot goaltender, you could have all the pressure you want, but it might be a very long night if the goaltender is on one. I think I did. I actually have no idea how to do this because I'm not in control of it. I think Kyle is in control of that. I'd have to figure that out. But maybe for next year. Maybe for next year. What was wrong with the great one on pregame panel staring down Lundqvist? I don't. I think he's just staring in general. Also, I feel like this lighting, because I'm looking at him right now, I feel like this lighting makes even his eyes like fully white. Like he's just gray and white. And I get it. He's like an old man, but still, like it's crazy. Jeff, did you find the answer? You've been, because it doesn't look like anybody's given a guess. So yeah, so how much is Wayne Gretzky's net worth? $250 million. Okay. Now, how much of that do you think is from his playing career? Like 10%, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, I feel like when you think about all the different things that Wayne Gretzky has done in general, like you think about he's had things like being a coach. I think he's been in the front office as well. He's been an analyst. He does a bunch of commercials, probably has a lot of different things going on that I don't even know about. So, you know, he probably has a stake in the Oilers, which wouldn't surprise me. I think he also mentioned, by the way, that his brother works for the Oilers as well, like is on the Oilers staff, not coaching staff, but I think in their front office. So if they do win, there will be another Gretzky who will have his name edged on Lord Stanley's Cup, which would be great. Connor's asking, dude, I'm wondering if you're asking yourself how New Jersey lost to a fraudulent shambles of Carolina, because half the Devils team was in the hospital, literally. Like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. The Devils didn't have Jack Hughes. They didn't have half of their defense. They had no depth scoring. That's how they lost. So it was fairly easy for Carolina to beat the Devils. And it was fairly easy for them to beat a fraudulent Capitals team as well. But once they played a real team that was at full strength and very, very talented in all facets, they got their ass kicked. Belt to ass, essentially. That's what it was. So, that's my answer to that question. I think if the Devils were at full strength and they had depth, I think they would have beaten Carolina. Because the one thing that the Devils had going for them was the fact that Jacob Markstrom played very, very well and gave them at least many opportunities to maybe steal a game, especially that game 5. Who knows what could have happened? No sons to carry his name. I don't know if he has any. I think he has daughters. I think Gretzky has daughters. I'm not sure. Eric is saying injuries were an excuse for New Jersey. They've been missed since January. Canes are the better team. I understand the injuries are an excuse, but when you have that many guys out, it's hard not to look at that and say, could the Devils have been better? But I do agree with the fact that the Devils were having issues way before the injuries became an issue. From the time January started, as you're mentioning, to the end of the year, the Devils' problems were obvious. And the general manager of the New Jersey Devils, Tom Fitzgerald, just sat on his hands and did nothing. So that's a problem in its own right. And Carolina, to me, they play their system very well, and they were the better team in that series. But I still feel like that if the Devils were at full strength and they didn't have the scoring issues that they were having, I think they would have beaten Carolina. But maybe I'm being biased. But that's just how I feel. So, but I can understand why someone could say that injuries could be an excuse. At least the Canes got one game up. I think you're referring to them finally winning a conference final game after what? After going 0-15 up until that point. I consider them to be the San Jose Sharks of the East. When you look at what they've accomplished in the 2010s, that's it. I think I saw that someone else kind of used that comparison as well for Carolina, that they are becoming that because of they've had the same core for the most part, and they've had these chances and they just haven't gotten it done, especially in the conference finals. I don't know. I don't know what exactly you do if you're Carolina. I think you do need to add more offense. Maybe they'll be in the Mitch Marner sweepstakes when it's all said and done. Who knows? But they definitely do have some work to do for sure. As do all the teams that are now playing in the Stanley Cup Finals. Somehow I was screaming. Okay. Sick. And Andrew agrees with what Erica was saying before. Do I miss Zach Hyman? I mean, I'm not a fan of the Oilers, so no. But obviously, it is unfortunate for Edmonton that they don't have Zach Hyman, so they're not at full strength. I mean, they're still a very talented team in their own right, don't get me wrong. But not having one of your better scorers in the finals at all is really unfortunate, and it stinks. Kevin wants the Hurricanes to move back to Hartford, Connecticut to become the Whalers again. That would be great. That would be great. I think if Hartford ever were to get a team again, I think they would most likely be an expansion team. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I think I'm trying to think of where the next expansion would be in the NHL. My biggest guess would probably be something like Houston. I know there's already a team in Texas with the Dallas Stars, but I think Houston being another big sports city and an NHL team is the only thing that they don't have. I could definitely see them being at the front there. I know that Quebec City has tried for years to get an expansion team and more specifically bring the Quebec Nordiques back. But I think that the NHL just refuses to go back there because they're a small market. But it would be great to see a team like the Nordiques come back into the NHL. Also the Whalers as well. But, who knows? So going back to the second period here, what am I looking for? So for the Oilers, what I'm looking for is you got to continue to put pressure on Bobrovsky. You got to find ways to just make it difficult for him in front. You also just can't turn over the puck in your own zone. You can't give those type of chances to Florida because, as I keep saying, they will make you pay. If you're the Florida Panthers, you got to find a way to get more shots on goal. I mean, I know you're up 2-1, so I'm talking like that they're down 2-0 right now, but they're up 2-1. They've kind of slowly grinded their way into this game, but definitely got to find a way to get some more pressure here because, as we've seen from Stuart Skinner, when he's off his game, it can be a nightmare for Edmonton. It could be very difficult where he's giving up a lot of goals and a lot of soft goals, and it's just not great. So, that's what you want to see here and try to build upon that lead. No more West versus South teams. Atlanta thinks they're getting another franchise. I don't know what to make of that. I know that they are making a push right now. I think the problem is that you've had two different teams in the Atlanta Flames and then the infamous Atlanta Thrashers both play there at different points and it not working out. Now, I think that has a lot more to do with the ownership of both of those teams than it did necessarily with the location and the city and all that stuff. But you got to think that the NHL might be a bit hesitant to want to go back to some place they've already tried twice. I think it's more likely that we see another team in Arizona down the road than maybe Atlanta, but I could be wrong. Because I know for the most recent owners of the now defunct Arizona Coyotes, there was talk that over the next 5 years, they were going to build a new arena. They were going to basically lay the foundation for getting a new team there. See, that's I don't agree that it was goalie interference. That's my opinion. So, and the Oilers challenged it. So it's not like the refs gave them a power play for nothing. The Oilers were the ones that decided to challenge it. And by rule in the NHL, if you make a challenge and you're unsuccessful, you go on the power play for delay of, you go on the penalty kill, for delay of game. So I don't agree that was gifted to them personally. But here we go as our second period of action is underway. Hopefully our scoreboard will fix itself in a moment. We are underway here in the second period. Shots have changed a little bit on goal. 14-7 currently in favor of Edmonton as that shot by Rodriguez gets blocked. Now the Oilers look to come the other way as Nugent Hopkins drops it off now to Corey Perry. Perry dumps it back over now to Nugent Hopkins. feeds it to McDavid. McDavid fighting along the left corner with Barkov. He gets knocked off the puck. Puck is loose, and a good shot there from Perry is stopped by Bobrovsky, and the Panthers clear. Good early chance there, just 40 seconds into this second period. Darnell Nurse will slow it up here as both teams make their first change of the period. Draisaitl now with it. Panthers are 7-0, a perfect 7-0 when they are leading after the first period. So they definitely lock it down when they get that lead, and that could be a sign of trouble for Edmonton the rest of the way, unless they could find a way to get a couple more past Bobrovsky. Darnell Nurse will go back again for Edmonton. Nurse will hold. Makes a feed off the boards, but it gets knocked away by Florida, and Edmonton will have to go back and restart again. Both teams whacking along at it against the boards. Bennett gets knocked down, no penalty. And I think that's kind of a good thing with the amount of penalties that were called in the first. The puck is now behind in the Florida zone. Bennett backhands it, intercepted here by Trent Frederic. Frederic in the left corner gets hit by Kulikov. Puck goes around the boards, comes out in front, but Carter Verhaeghe will make a nice feed. And now the Panthers look to come the other way. Now over to me for Sam Bennett, and he scores! Sam Bennett on a nice feed, goes top shelf, beats Stuart Skinner in just 2 minutes into the second period. Bennett gets his second of the night and doubles the Panther lead. It's now 3-1 Florida. Great breakout by Verhaeghe. Feeding it over, I think, was that Nate Schmidt that made that pass? I got to see it again. It was. Defenseman Nate Schmidt with a great saucer feed to Sam Bennett. And Bennett, with no hesitation, beating Stuart Skinner far side, getting his second of the night. And the Panthers now have scored 3 unanswered and now are up 3-1. And yeah, I mean, this is exactly what you can kind of expect from watching Florida. If you've been watching the Panthers throughout the year, they just come at you in waves. They have scored 3 goals on just 8 shots. Sam Bennett, 12th goal now of this postseason. He has now set a franchise playoff record for a single postseason, as Gadjevich of Florida is going down the tunnel. Looks like he's banged up. Edmonton gets it. Drive there by Wallman, gets fought off by Bobrovsky, and then gets dumped out. So now you got to see. Now if you're Edmonton, you got to get the next goal. You got to get the next goal. You cannot let Florida get another one here and really put a stranglehold on this game. Bouchard with a drive. That puck comes loose, but it gets deflected into the corner. And then Janmark actually hits Ekholm by mistake. Bennett, again, his 12th goal of the playoffs. Nate Schmidt and Verhaeghe with assists on that one. Schmidt and Verhaeghe now both with 2 points. They each have 2 assists. Victor Arvidsson with a drive, and he scores! Victor Arvidsson with a blast under the glove of Bobrovsky, and the Oilers have gotten one back. It's now 3-2 with 16:43 to go in the first. The former LA King and Nashville Predator gets one here for Edmonton. Didn't look like it was going to get past Bobrovsky, but Podgolzing dropped it up to Arvidsson, and Bobrovsky, he just didn't, I don't know if he didn't see it or just misplayed it. It actually hit his glove and then went under the glove and in. And if you're Bobrovsky, you're going to want that one back. And you got to hope, if you're the Oilers, that maybe with a weak goal like that, maybe it knocks the confidence of Bobrovsky just a little bit. So 2 goals within the first 3.5 minutes of this second period, 1 for each team. The Oilers getting the most recent one, and now they're once again down by 1. 5 goals already in this game number 1. And now here come the Panthers the other way. Seth Jones with it. Jones shot, and that one's stopped by Skinner. Rebound try goes wide of Skinner. Vander Kane, he'll get off to Draisaitl, who will dump it in, and Bobrovsky will play it. That one is taken away by Edmonton. Draisaitl behind the net looking to set up. Draisaitl using his body. He gets crunched by Seth Jones. Now Luosterainen is able to get it out. Jake Wallman will slow it up for Edmonton. Wallman came over in a trade from the San Jose Sharks to the Oilers after really a weird kind of season for him. Victor Arvidsson, his second goal of the playoffs. Podkolzin and Evan Bouchard with the assists on that one. But yeah, with Jake Wallman, he so shockingly got traded away from Detroit to the Sharks for literally nothing. Had a tremendous, pretty much career year as he comes in right now and gets fought off and gets the puck taken away. But he had a career year in San Jose, and he's come over and been a big help on the back end for Edmonton here in this run to the finals. Turnover here. Verhaeghe still with it. Verhaeghe tries to make a feed, and it gets broken up, and the Oilers will come the other way. Where now Frederic will dump it in. Nate Schmidt lightly touches it to Kulikov. Dmitry Kulikov will make his way up. Gets it over to Nate Schmidt, who will dump it into the right up Stuart Skinner. Puck comes out in front. Almost a dangerous play there by Edmonton. That Corey Perry will dump it into the offensive zone. Sam Reinhart. Now to Evan Rodriguez. Rodriguez tries to get around a defender. It goes into the left corner. The Oilers are able to dump it out, and that's just out of the reach of Nugent Hopkins, who would have been off to the races there. Icing here against Florida with 14:15 to go in this second period. And again, if you're just tuning in, you've missed a lot. You've missed a lot. Edmonton got the first goal of the game just 66 seconds in, back in the first period. But then the Panthers got the next two in that first period to take a 2-1 lead into the dressing room. Sam Bennett got his second goal of this game already. Exactly 2 minutes in, that made it 3-1. And then moments after that, Victor Arvidsson with just his second goal of the playoffs was able to cut the deficit again to 1. And that's where we stand right now, 3-2 Florida here. That puck is loose. Kapanen, not a Nurse with a shot that gets blocked. Kapanen trying to keep it in for Edmonton. Puck in the left corner. Vander Kane fighting along with Aaron Ekblad. Puck almost came out in front. Oilers control it. Nurse over the right side. Wrist shot through traffic gets blocked. Panthers trying to get it out, and they slowly are able to get it out. Kapanen now over to Draisaitl, and he gets hit by a good play there by Gustav Forsling. Aaron Ekblad with a lot of space will make his way up the ice, and he'll dump it in. Kulak around the boards and goes back down, and it looks like no icing here as the ref waves it off. Seth Jones fighting along with Podkolzin. Puck gets loose, feeds it in front there, but couldn't connect with Janmark. And now the Panthers will come the other way, where Marchand will dump it in. 7 minutes into this second period. Marchand loses the puck for a moment, fighting along with Klingberg. Klingberg now up to Jake Wallman. Wallman now right side, feeds it over and just out of the reach of Podkolzin. And the Panthers look to come the other way. Jesper Boquist with it now. Waits, now to Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe tries to make a feed, couldn't connect. Matthew Tkachuk now with it. Now to Sam Bennett. Sam Bennett in the right corner. Bennett falls down. Puck comes out in front. Oilers get to it first, and they will be able to just get it out of the zone. And it goes all the way back down into the Florida zone where they'll have to restart. Long stretch feed there is out of the reach, and it'll be an icing here against Nate Schmidt and the Panthers with 12:14 to go in the second. So if you're the Oilers, you got to find a way to get that next one. I know I keep repeating myself, but it's true, especially because Florida's finding those opportunities around Stuart Skinner. Face-off won here by the Oilers in the offensive zone. Perry, now to McDavid. Connor McDavid gets it top of the point now to Ekholm. Ekholm Now over to Corey Perry in the left corner, and now goes into that left corner here. Tomas Nosek with Dmitry Kulikov back to Nosek on the left side, and Nosek's able to get it out. Long stretch feed now to Marchand. Brad Marchand avoids a hit. Couldn't control it here. Puck is still loose, bounces up in the air where Boquist will control it. Boquist with a shot that gets sticked aside by Skinner. Aaron Ekblad with it. Bounces around the boards to the other side. Gets to Barkov. Sasha Barkov in the left corner fighting along with McDavid. Puck gets to the top of the point, gets broken up by Edmonton. And now the Panthers will come right back into the zone. Sam Reinhart stops. Reinhart with a shot. That one gets fought up by Skinner. And the Oilers will come the other way here. And Bouchard tried to dump it out, but Evan Rodriguez lifts his stick. But then the Oilers get to it, and then they'll dump it in as both teams make a change with 11 minutes to go in this second period. Puck bouncing here for a second. Trent Frederick will control it here for the Oilers. Now here comes Kulak, who will dump it in around the boards to the right side. Gets over to Frederick. Puck gets flipped over into the left corner here, and both teams now pushing and shoving along the boards. Ekblad and Reinhart there for Panthers. That puck comes out in front. Nobody home except Florida. And the Panthers will dump it back into the offensive zone where Skinner will touch it first and play it. Frederick bounces off the boards, and that'll be enough for an icing here. 10:21 to go in the second. So we've yet to have our first commercial break of this second period, and we're almost halfway through it. Again, 10:21 to go. 3-2 currently is our score here. 3-2 Florida. Most recent goals was Sam Bennett, his second of the game. That made it 3-1, exactly 2 minutes into this second period. And then moments later, it was Victor Arvidsson getting a goal back for Edmonton, which made it 3-2. Face-off won in their own zone by Edmonton. Hits are 22-17 currently in favor of the Oilers. And another icing here against Edmonton with 10:12 to go in the second. There's Matthew Tkachuk. I got to be honest with you guys. Matthew Tkachuk is playing through something very painful because to me, he has been, I don't want to say he's been a non-factor, but he's been very unnoticeable at times in these playoffs. I mean, and good for him because a lot of other guys can step up and make plays. And I'm not knocking on Matthew Tkachuk really that much. I think like whatever he was dealing with and whatever he was injured with at the Four Nations, I think has continued to affect him as that shot off the faceoff gets stopped by Skinner. Another opportunity just goes wide of the glove of Skinner, and now the Oilers will control it. Tries to make it stretch feed, gets broken up by Florida. Edmonton intercepts, they'll flip it back into the Panthers zone. Seth Jones makes his way. That bounces off a Panther. No icing here. Sam Bennett with 2 goals already tonight, 4 shots on goal and 2 hits, making a major impact as he has all postseason long. Matthew Tkachuk now up to Ekblad, who will dump it in. Verhaeghe gets there first for Florida. Carter Verhaeghe falls down, and Edmonton will slowly get it out, where Kapanen will backhand it over now to Klingberg. Nice feed, or almost a nice feed to Draisaitl. Marchand tried to get it out. He could not. Good block shot there from Ekblad. Gets it to Lindell. Now to Marchand, who will dump it in as both teams make a change with 9 minutes exactly to go in this second. Intercepted here. Opportunity. Shot there from Barkov is fought off by Stuart Skinner. Drive by Schmidt is stopped. Rebound try is also stopped. Other opportunity is blocked in front. A couple of big saves there from Skinner on both Nate Schmidt and Luosterainen. Kulikov lost the puck, and it comes out of the zone, and the Oilers will dump it out. But Stuart Skinner, a couple big saves there. Reinhart and Arvidsson fighting along in the Edmonton zone. Klingberg holds it. Gets it now to Ekholm. Mattias Ekholm. Soft shot that goes wide of Bobrovsky. Second period offensive chances 5-1 right now in favor of Florida as that shot's deflected high of Bobrovsky. Kulikov will settle it down for Florida. He'll backhand it over to Seth Jones, who will dump it all the way around and out. Ekholm will get to it first, and he'll dump it right back in. 7:58 and ticking to go in the second period. This is a fast-moving second period, ladies and gentlemen. No icing there against Florida. Edmonton plays the puck. Ekblad knocks down an Oilers player. One of the Oilers fans wants a penalty. He's not going to get it. Shots are now even, guys, as the Panthers have certainly picked it up. Shots are even at 16 aside at this mark. So the Panthers definitely found ways to get more pucks to the net. Opportunity here. Shot there is deflected wide of Bobrovsky. Fans again urging for a call against Florida. And again, they're not going to get it. Nugent Hopkins slows it up for Edmonton. Off the boards. McDavid into the zone. McDavid lost the puck where Ekblad will calmly backhand it out. And Kulak will get it over to Nurse. And Nurse will dump it into the right corner of the Florida zone with 7 minutes to go in this second period. The way this is going, it feels like the second period is going to end before we get a commercial break. Kapanen coming in. He loses the puck. Now to Adam Henrique. Top of the point now. Nice feed to Wallman. Wallman waits. Backhand try. It's stopped by Bobrovsky. Henrique controls again. Wallman top of the point. Wallman still with it now. Wallman. Wrist shot deflected. Good pad save by Bobrovsky, and the rebound try goes wide. That was deflected in front by Frederick, and then it redirected, but Bobrovsky still makes the right leg pad save. And that puck's dumped out, and it'll go all the way down for, you guessed it, another icing here against Florida with 6:18 to go in this second period. Again, guys, I'm not making this up. We have still yet to have a commercial break. We've had several stoppages because of icing, but just showed a replay of that beautiful rebound save by Skinner on Luosterainen, who had an opening there, and then a replay of the most recent save of Bobrovsky. Hit off the skate of Frederick and redirected, but Bobrovsky was still in good position to make the save. Face off to the right of Sergei Bobrovsky in the Florida zone. I'm really curious to see when we get our first actual commercial break here of this period. Now, it's weird how fascinating it is to me. Puck comes out of the Florida zone, and now the Panthers will dump it back in. Ekholm will control it now for Edmonton. Intercepted by Seth Jones. But Ekholm will retrieve it for the Oilers, get it up to Draisaitl, and they'll get it out. Draisaitl gets around a defender, drops it off to McDavid. McDavid feeds it over. Shot there is stopped by Bobrovsky. Had to go from his right to his left. Good shot by Bouchard, but a better save of Bobrovsky there. Sam Reinhart drops it to Rodriguez. Top of the point now to Mikkola. Now to Rodriguez. Turnaround shot gets blocked. Reinhart with it now. Now to Mikkola. Mikkola with a shot that gets blocked before it reaches Skinner and gets dumped out. Rodriguez around the boards where it's picked up by Matthew Tkachuk. Tkachuk with it, tries to feed it in the slot, but it gets broken up and it goes all the way back down to the Florida zone. And Bobrovsky will make a long stretch feed to Matthew Tkachuk with numbers. Tkachuk with it now. He takes a shot that gets blocked. Puck is loose. Gets it over. Shot there. Goes wide of Skinner. Puck comes out in front again. Top of the point. Now to Kulikov. Drive. That gets blocked. Oilers looking to come the other way. Can they get numbers? No. Good defensive rebound play there by Kulikov to deny what could have been a 3-on-1. Intercepted there. That shot gets blocked by Nate Schmidt around the boards. Now with it, Trent Frederick gets to top of the point. Nurse has it. Nurse trying to get around Matthew Tkachuk. He cannot. That's taken away by Florida. Corey Perry trying to get to it. Puck intercepted for a moment. Looks like Bobrovsky might have tripped him, but no call. And now the Panthers come the other way. Bandit dumps it over to Nate Schmidt. Kulak can't get it out. Gets it over now for Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe with a high-rising shot going wide of Skinner. Puck in the left corner now. Marchand, top of the point to Forsling. That's a drive that goes wide of the glove of Skinner. A lot of shots going wide. Less than 4 minutes to go in this second period. Lundell's shot softly goes wide. Forsling keeps it. He takes a shot, and it gets stopped and covered by Stuart Skinner. And finally, we get a full stoppage of play. Our first one of the period with 3:52 to go in this period. Sam Bennett, 2 minutes into the period, gave the Panthers a 3-1 lead. But then less than 2 minutes later, it was Victor Arvidsson that snuck one past Bobrovsky's glove that got the Oilers back to within one, 3-2, late here in this second period. The amount of bots that I've had to eliminate here tonight is wild, absolutely wild. But thank you, everybody, for continuing to hang out with me tonight. Again, if you are new to the channel, my name is Neil Villapiano. I'm the host of the Devil's State of Mind podcast, which should become no surprise, does cover the New Jersey Devils here on THPN, but I'm also one of the main live watch-along voices here that you see. And again, thank you for hanging out with us. Game one of this Stanley Cup Finals between the Panthers and Oilers. I will be live again on Friday night for game number 2 of this series as well. And then my good friend Jimmy Finizzi of the Blue Shirts podcast, with the Blue Seats podcast, which covers the New York Rangers, will be live for game number 3. And then my good friend on the channel, Grant, will be live for game number 4. And we'll see if I get a chance to be on any more games of this series, especially if it goes beyond 4 games. Jeff, how's the Yankees doing? What's their score? Please don't say 4-0 when it's not soccer. My brother's been very invested into soccer of late, and when he says nothing, he says nil instead of nothing, so it really is just like crazy, because nobody's going to say that in hockey at all, unless you play in Great Britain, which doesn't happen very often.
England has a baseball.
They do. You never seen the World Baseball Classic?
I have, but I've just never seen it.
Because they're not very good.
U.S. and Japan.
Well, you got the Latin countries are pretty good. All right, never mind. Stuart Skinner has stopped 15 of the 18 shots that he's faced. Hasn't had the world's greatest game, but he's also made some key saves to keep the Oilers only trailing by 1. Back to the action here. 3:40 to go in the second period. Panthers right now with the 3-2 lead. Forsling dumps it out. And it'll go back where Ekholm will play it now for Edmonton behind his own net. Ekholm still waiting here as both teams kind of setting up their formations here. It's like they're trying to set up the flying V essentially. And that pass deflected out of play off that feed from Ekholm. So all of that pass was deflected by Reinhardt, by the way, but all of that to just have a face-off in your own zone. 3:16 to go in the second. I think Nico Mikkola, number 77 of the Panthers, defenseman, I think he's incredibly underrated for just what he brings to the table. He's very, very good. Very good. And very reliable on the back end. Can get you some goals. He's gotten a couple of goals in these playoffs. Overall, just a really, really, really good defenseman. Shot there from Lundell off the face-off is stopped by Skinner. Puck is loose again. Loose to right in. Gets it, and that one's broken up in the slot. And then he gets hit hard by Kapanen. Marchand feeds it over to Luosterainen. Luosterainen with a high-rising shot that goes wide to Skinner. Less than 3 minutes to go in the period. Vander Kane gets it over now to Klingberg. Klingberg will softly get it out of the zone. Puck near the Florida bench. Tkachuk touches it, and then he gets hit by Vander Kane. And that puck goes all the way back down to the Florida zone where Verhaeghe will start from his own net. Now Seth Jones will get back there and start it up. Seth Jones, now to Mikkola. Bounce it off the boards. Sam Bennett gets to it, and he'll dump it in. Carter Verhaeghe along with Tkachuk. And that puck slowly gets to Skinner, and he'll cover with 2:18 to go in this second period. Still 3-2 Florida, as we've now had our second commercial break here. I'll go to break when the period ends. That's how I roll. And keep it going until the end of the period. So I'll ask my brother for his thoughts. Jeff, what are your thoughts so far from Florida side here through almost 40 minutes of play? And you need to come closer to speak into the microphone. Come closer. Please come closer. I'm going to hold it. No, I'm just going to hold it.
Let's see. I don't know. I thought that first power play they could have done better, but obviously they've rebounded since then. Obviously it's only a 1-goal margin right now, but yeah, they've taken it to them, I would say, in the first couple periods here. I mean, they know, obviously, this is a very important game for them if they're able to steal one on the road. Brad Marchand is a rat. We already knew that. And it's to the advantage of the Panthers so far. So we'll see. It's a little. I think both teams are, both being helped and hindered by the fact that, the extended amount of rest is both helping out. It's balancing things out because we're seeing a sort of a sloppy kind of, high scoring affair through only less than 2 periods. So I don't know. We'll see.
We shall see indeed. That was actually pretty good, Jeff. I'm not going to lie. That was very good. You bring up a good point. And the funny thing is, Jeff, is that like a lot of the time in game one, for reasons unknown, it usually ends up being the one that's like the most sloppy. And I don't know why.
It's because of the rest.
Yeah. So they just showed a stat here on TNT that Chris Knobloch, the head coach of the Edmonton Oilers, is the first coach since Scotty Bowman to make the Stanley Cup Finals in his first 2 years as an NHL head coach. Scotty Bowman did it 3 years in a row from 1968 to 1970. That's pretty impressive. And it's crazy to think like where Edmonton was when they made Knobloch the coach. They were towards the bottom of the NHL last year, and they came all the way back, had a really long winning streak, got into the playoffs, got all the way to Game 7, and almost won the Stanley Cup. And now they stand here 365 days later, 4 wins away from winning a Stanley Cup this time around. Face off to the right here. That's Stuart Skinner with 2:18 to go in this second period. Face off one here by Florida. Forsling over to Tkachuk. Matthew Tkachuk with a wrist shot that gets blocked by Nugent Hopkins. Can't get it out, though, is Edmonton. Bennett controls it for Florida. Sam Bennett with it now. Bennett stops, waits in the right face-off dot. Top of the point, drive by Ekblad, and that one is gloved by Skinner here with 1:59 to go in this second period. Jake Wallman is out there, but he is definitely uncomfortable. He is definitely dealing with something. It's got to be shoulder related. It seems like he's hard to kind of keep his, shoulder control there. Stanley Cup Finals schedule. Again, I will be live for Game 2 on Friday, June 6th, 8 p.m. Eastern. Game 3 will not be on Sunday, It'll be Monday night, next Monday, June 9th, 8 p.m. So a little change there. And then Game 4 will be next Wednesday, so a week from today, in Florida, also 8 p.m. Every game of this series starts at 8. Prime time. Reinhart with a shot that gets deflected, but it reaches Skinner, and he'll cover it here. 1:48 to go in this second period. It's funny how once you get that first full TV timeout, in a period is when everything starts to slow down, because before that, it was just constant moving, going and going here in the second period. It took us nearly 17 minutes to get our first commercial break. Face off one here by the Panthers, but a good save there by Skinner off the draw. Seth Jones with now turnaround shot there, gets fought up by Skinner, deflected into the corner. Darnell Nurse Deflects it. That one's intercepted. Opportunity here. Shot there. Stopped by Skinner. Rebound try is snuffed out. And the Oilers now look to come the other way. Evander Kane up the right side. Kane waits. Tries to feed it to Draisaitl, but he gets clipped in the mouth. And we have a delayed penalty here against the Panthers. As now the Oilers will have an extra skater here until the Panthers touch up, which they do. And with 1:13 to go in the period, the Oilers will get their they'll get their second power play of the night, and a big opportunity here to potentially tie this game going into the final frame as Evan Rodriguez is going to go to the box for a 2-minute slashing penalty. 3-2 Panthers here. Just a little over a minute to go in this second period. But this is a big power play here. Biggest one of the game so far if you're Edmonton, because now you went down 3-1 early in this period. You got one back immediately, and now you have a grade A chance here to tie this game up at 3 going into the third period. This is a much needed power play here. And again, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Really do appreciate it. Really enjoy doing this immensely. And again, make sure to interact with us in the comment section. I see we haven't had a comment in quite some time. So would really love to continue to interact with you guys throughout this game and throughout the series as well, because I'll be on here for the rest of this game. And like I mentioned before, I will be on for game number 2 as well. Maybe we'll have someone else as well on with me. Who knows? We shall see. Less than 48 hours away. Got to see here who could step up for Edmonton. If you're Florida, I think it's been fairly a better period for Florida in terms of, getting pucks on net and getting in front of Stuart Skinner. Obviously, you were able to get that goal early on in the period to make it 3-1. But, Bobrovsky gives up kind of a soft goal there, not too far after that. And, it's frustrating because I'm sure that the Panthers would rather be up 3-1 right now than only up 3-2. Evan Rodriguez in the box, a 2-minute high sticking call. They're showing a play here where that puck came out in front, where Barkov had a chance, and he tried to tuck it past Skinner, but he makes the save, and then the puck came loose. And Evan Rodriguez almost was able to get there to knock it in, but instead, moments after almost that, he ends up clipping Draisaitl. Shots currently 24-18 in favor of Florida. So again, that just proves how much better offensively in terms of getting shots on goal Florida's been in the second period than they were in the first. Face-off won here by the Oilers, and they'll control here. Bouchard drops it off to McDavid. McDavid gets it over now to Draisaitl. 1 minute to go in this second period. Bouchard. Left side now to Nugent-Hopkins. Now to Bouchard again. Bouchard now to McDavid. Bouchard top of the point. Bouchard with a shot, and that one gets fought off by Bobrovsky. McDavid controls it again for Edmonton. Nugent-Hopkins with it now. Gets over to Draisaitl, right face-off dot. Draisaitl waits. Back top point to Bouchard. Left side now to McDavid. Back to Bouchard. One-time shot by Draisaitl, and that one just gets deflected wide. Oilers keeping it in, though. McDavid now over to Nugent-Hopkins. Hopkins with a shot that gets fought off by Bobrovsky. McDavid controls it again. McDavid to Draisaitl with a shot that gets blocked. Oilers control it again. 18 seconds to go in the period. McDavid waits. Draisaitl, Bouchard, drive, and that one's fought off by Bobrovsky, and the Panthers are able to clear, and that should pretty much do it for the period as Bouchard takes a long slap shot, deflected into the right corner, and that will do it for this second period of play. Both teams found a goal in that one. Bennett, his second of the game, has got the goal for Florida. Victor Arvidsson, his second of the playoffs, got the one for Edmonton. And so once again, the Panthers have a 1-0 lead, have a 1-goal lead now after 40 minutes of play. So we got at least 20 more to go here, but it's a close, tight game between these two teams, and we'll see who comes out on top. And we will step aside for a little bit here. We'll be back after this commercial break.
Whether you're looking for courtside or upper deck, opening day or opening night, comedy or concerts. With Game Time Picks, we make buying tickets easy by serving up only the best deals on sports, music, and shows.
What time is it?
It's game time. Whether you're looking for courtside or upper deck, opening day or opening night, comedy or concerts. With Game Time Picks, we make buying tickets easy by serving up only the best deals on sports, music, and shows.
What time is it?
It's game time. Whether you're looking for courtside or upper deck, opening day or opening night, comedy or concerts. With Game Time Picks, we make buying tickets easy by serving up only the best deals on sports, music, and shows.
What time is it?
It's game time. Whether you're looking for courtside or upper deck, opening day or opening night, comedy or concerts. With Game Time Picks, we make buying tickets easy by serving up only the best deals on sports, music, and shows.
What time is it?
It's game time. Whether you're looking for courtside or upper deck, opening day or opening night, comedy or concerts. With Game Time Picks, we make buying tickets easy by serving up only the best deals on sports, music, and shows.
What time is it?
It's game time.
And welcome everybody here to our second intermission report. Game one of this Stanley Cup Finals between the Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers. And after now 40 minutes of play, Panthers still up by a goal, but both teams did convert in that second period. It started off just exactly 2 minutes in with Sam Bennett on a partial 2-on-1. Was able to get his second of the night, but then not too long after that, an unlikely person in Victor Arvidsson on a slap shot just gets enough of it to beat Bobrovsky to get the Oilers back to within one, and that's where we stand here 3-2 after 40 minutes of play. This has been, honestly, truly, it's been a very, very entertaining game so far. Game one of these finals. It's kind of to be expected, really. You know, because again, the majority of these guys, they played against one another in last year's finals. They kind of have a good feeling as to how they play. And again, as I said before, the biggest difference really is the fact that the series starts in Edmonton, whereas last year it did start in Florida. But if there's a team out there that can definitely steal that home ice advantage, it's this Panthers team who are 8-2. But you know what? The Oilers, I got to give them a lot of credit because when they went down 3-1 early in that second period, it definitely felt like that was a big moment in the game where it could go one of two ways. Either Edmonton gets it back and keeps this game close and gives themselves a really, really great chance in this final period here, or the Panthers just start to really dominate and just cruise on their way to a game one victory. Now, could things change? Sure. So one of these teams could come out in this third period like a house on fire and really just start, going crazy with just running up the score. But I don't see that. I don't see that being the case personally. I really hope, honestly, that we end up getting an overtime. Yeah, I think it'd be a lot of fun. This already has the makings, in my opinion, of a really, really fun series. And I know that some people will say it's boring to get the same matchups. And believe me, I've had my fair share of complaints about that in years past with different sports. There's no question. But I think that I really do feel that the Panthers and Oilers really, really proved that they were the two best teams going, this year, and really, really proved themselves to be the ones deserved to be in this final again. Although I will say, I'm going to be very honest. I picked the Oilers to lose every single series up until this point, and they have proved me wrong every time up until this point. I had the Kings beating them in the first round. I had the Golden Knights beating them in the second round, and I had the Stars. I had the Stars in the conference finals, and I was wrong every time. So maybe picking against the Oilers again, maybe that will give them the motivation to go and win the Stanley Cup. Brother BKL Contreras, or the Sports Entertainment Guy, saying, shout out to everyone in the chat, including the Hockey Podcast Network. Keep up a good work on the channel. Appreciate and shout out from South Bronx, Brother BKL Contreras, aka the Sport Entertainment Guy. Thank you so very much, my friend, for shouting us out and giving us that recognition. We really do appreciate it. And you know what? It's people like you, my friend, that really, really make it all worth it to do these things and to come on here and interact and just have a great time. Just have a great time. And I'm very appreciative that we have people in the chat that we can interact with and watch this game together. Really, really thank you so much for the comment. If you haven't already, make sure to leave a like on the stream. If you haven't, also hit the subscribe button as well and hit that notification bell so you get notified every time we go live here for live watch-alongs here on the THPN channel. But Brother BKL Contreras, thank you so much, man, for that compliment. That really, really, that means the world to me personally. Because I know you're shouting at everybody, but really it just really kind of just reassures just how enjoyable, doing this is. Like, I really, really thank you for it. Thank you a lot. So with that in mind, I'm going to take another break here to get some more water, catch my breath, and get ourselves ready for an exciting third period of play here. Again, 3-2 Florida going into the final frame. And we'll see what these two teams have in store for us. But we will be right back.
Whether you're looking for courtside or upper deck, opening day or opening night, comedy or concerts. With Game Time Picks, we make buying tickets easy by serving up only the best deals on sports, music, and shows.
What time is it?
It's game time. Whether you're looking for courtside or upper deck, opening day or opening night, comedy or concerts. With Game Time Picks, we make buying tickets easy by serving up only the best deals on sports, music, and shows.
What time is it?
It's game time. Whether you're looking for courtside or upper deck, opening day or opening night, comedy or concerts. With Game Time Picks, we make buying tickets easy by serving up only the best deals on sports, music, and shows.
What time is it?
It's game time.
And so here we go as we are just about ready to get underway in this third period. Panthers with a 3-2 lead going into it here, and Panthers looking to try to steal a game already in Edmonton and putting that pressure on the Oilers right away, while the Oilers are looking to try to come back here and get a much-needed first Game 1 win at home to get off on the right foot in this Stanley Cup Finals. It has been a very, very entertaining game through 40 minutes. The funny thing is that I think, I still can't believe that we nearly went 17 minutes of that second period before we had our first commercial break. Then we had 3 within 90 seconds of each other. So it's very funny how that went. You know, it's it was crazy how that ended up being the case. I expect there to be more stoppage in plays here in this third period, but you never know. You never know. And so I'm going to bring my brother on again real quick before this period starts. If you could sit up for me, please, that would be lovely. I want you to give me one thing you want to see from each team going into this final period, starting with the Florida Panthers.
Starting with the Florida.
Can you lean in more?
Let's see. Starting with the Florida Panthers, I mean, I would just say, for the most part, keep doing what you're doing. Just control the puck. Don't allow a shooting gallery to happen in and around the net. You can rely on Bob, to some extent, but obviously don't put unnecessary pressure on him. Also, don't commit any stupid penalties to give Edmonton any man advantages.
Mm-hmm.
And for Edmonton, it's the opposite. Keep putting pressure on it. I mean, obviously, don't get caught sleeping on the back end. But you got to score. You got to take the all important game 1, man. You can't let Florida come in here and get accomplished what they want to get accomplished here in game 1. You got to protect the homeland.
Well said on both ends, Jeff. Thank you so much. And this third period is underway here. Oilers at the end of their power play here on that 2-minute high sticking call against Evan Rodriguez, 30 seconds to be exact to go on it. As now the Oilers look to set up Draisaitl top of the point now to Bouchard. Bouchard with it now, right side to Draisaitl. Draisaitl with it now. Draisaitl tries to get around loose to Ryden, regains composure, gets it now to Bouchard. Bouchard walks the blue line, right side again to Draisaitl. Draisaitl slip, gave it a Bouchard with a drive. That one stopped. Backhand try is blocked in front. Gustav Forsling gets to it, and he'll dump it out. And that'll do it for the Oilers power play. McDavid tries to get around 2 defenders. It gets broken up. That pass just out of the reach of Rodriguez. But a good kill there for Florida as they maintain the 1-goal lead just a minute in to this third period of play. I think it's fair to say that the next goal is really important regardless of who gets it. And especially for Florida, it would be huge to get it. Oilers are now 0 for 3 on the night on the power play. They have 7 shots in total on those 3-man advantages. Vander Kane's pass gets broken up by Rodriguez, who will dump it right back into the Oilers zone 90 seconds into this third period. Kulak, Navigator Now over to Arvidsson. Victor Arvidsson with the most recent goal for Edmonton back in that second period. That was just his second of this entire postseason. Is now Klingberg over to Ekholm here back in the Edmonton zone. That stretch pass gets broken up and Florida will control. Andrew B says, let's go Edmonton. So we know who he's cheering for. And brother BKL Contreras says, no problem. As part of the sports entertainment family, I want to say, quote, welcome and happy sports night, end quote. Thank you again so much for your compliments. Really do appreciate it. And again, if you haven't, my friend, already, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Really, really would help out the channel tremendously. And that goes for everybody as well, especially if you're new to the channel. So even though he's given up 3 goals, Stuart Skinner, for the most part, I think has had a pretty solid night. Not his best performances, but I think at times he's done enough to keep this Oilers team in this one here, as he's stopped 22 of the 25 shots he's faced so far in this game. Bobrovsky has stopped 20 of 22. Stuart Skinner 6-1 in his last 7 starts, including 3 shutouts in that time period. So again, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not as great as he's been of late, but he's still made some really, really strong saves to deny the Panthers of extending their lead. Ekholm shovels that one out of the zone. Comes right back to Edmonton, and now they'll control. Frederick lost the puck, taken away by the Panthers. Marchand over to Luostarinen. Backhand try is stopped by Skinner on a good play there, right in the slot. Luostarinen looking to double the lead, but Skinner denies him there. Bouchard up to now Draisaitl, center ice. Draisaitl around Seth Jones, and he'll slowly dump it to behind the net of Florida. But Mikkola will get it a one touch off of Reinhardt's stick and back out. Bouchard over to Jake Wollman. Wollman up the left side. Wrist shot there. Goes wide at Bobrovsky. Oilers keep it in. That puck is chipped behind the net. McDavid now behind the net. Feeds it in front to Draisaitl. Tried to whack it out of midair, but couldn't control it. And now Rodriguez for Florida will get it out. The first couple minutes here, Edmonton kind of putting on the pressure right now, trying to get that tying goal. We're just about 4 minutes into this third period. That puck is dumped in. Mikkola calmly plays it up to Boqvist on the right side. Jesper Boqvist dumps in. Gadjevich. He went down the tunnel earlier in the game, and he ended up returning. Not sure exactly what he was dealing with, but fortunately for the Panthers, he is back on the ice. That puck is now behind the Oilers' net. Vander Kane gets it out. Now the Oilers will control it again. Nurse feeds it over to Kane. Kane trying to get around one defender, and then he gets rocked by Forsling and Matthew Tkachuk. He had nowhere to go, basically running into a wall of Panther players there. Verhaeghe backhands it out of the zone. Now one's almost taken away. It is taken away. Verhaeghe with it. Toe drag shot, and that's deflected up and out of play. So Carter Verhaeghe continued to be active here. We thought he had the Panthers' first goal, but it ended up being deflected by Sam Bennett. Nonetheless, Verhaeghe with 2 assists on the night as he continues to be one of the most dominant playoff performers we've seen currently in the playoffs. I mean, he just has stepped up tremendously the last 3 years. It's been nothing short of phenomenal. I think Matthias Ekholm might have gotten a piece of that. Carter Verhaeghe in 18 games in these playoffs, 6 goals, 10 assists for 16 points in total, and that includes the 2 assists he has here in this one. Face off to the right of Stuart Skinner in the Edmonton zone, just about 5 minutes into this third period here. Face off won cleanly by Edmonton, and Darnell Nurse will get it out. In Stanley Cup final history, teams that win Game 1 in the best of 7 series have have won 75% of the time, ended up going on to win the cup. So that just shows you how important winning game one is in your pursuit of winning the cup in these finals. Oilers dump it into the Panthers zone where Ekblad, he falls down. Turnover here. Oh, but the Oilers couldn't keep it in. And now the Panthers look to come the other way. Lundell will dump it into the right zone where Reinhart couldn't get a stick on it. And now Connor Brown will dump it out for Edmonton. And another Panther player falling down. We've had several slips. I don't know if it's the ice or something, but I mean, as the old saying goes, ice is slippery. It is slippery. There's no question. Puck around the boards. We still actually have yet to have a shot on goal, even though there was Luosterainen, I think, ended up shooting that puck wide when he was in the slot. So still not a shot on goal, but opportunity here. And that shot is fought off by Bobrovsky from Wallman there. Puck on the right side where Evan Rodriguez will dump it out. He'll go all the way back down where Wallman will control it for Edmonton here. 13:45 and ticking to go in this third period. 3-2 Panthers here in game one of the Stanley Cup Finals. Nate Schmidt one hops it off the boards. Now to McDavid. Now McDavid comes up the right side into the offensive zone. Kapanen now back to McDavid. McDavid feeds it in front, gets it in a shot there, and they score! Matthias Ekholm gets it past Sergei Bobrovsky, and we are tied at 3. So the Oilers have come back from down 2 and have tied this game up at 3, almost 7 minutes into this period. Beautiful feed from who else but Connor McDavid, and Matthias Ekholm burying it to tie this one up. We'll see it again here. Came right to Ekholm, and he beats Bobrovsky far side, was screened a bit by his own defenseman, and Ekholm just pointing him at David saying, what a freaking pass. And we are tied with 13:27 to go in this third. Eric is saying, hoping for 7 overtime so we can chill all night. That would be insane. I appreciate, look, I will chat all night long. I'd be more than happy to. 7 overtimes is brutal. That would be the craziest Stanley Cup Finals game ever, for sure. Matthias Ekholm, his first of the playoffs. McDavid and Kasperi Kapanen with the assists on that one, and that ties this game up at 3. Jesper Boqvist coming the other way for Florida. Boqvist lost the puck. Now it's in the right corner. Nugent Hopkins tries to one-hand that away, but it's poked to the other side. Klingberg now will control it for the Oilers. Over to Ekholm, the most recent goal scorer just moments ago. Evander Kane into the offensive zone. Kane with it. Kane falls down, loses the puck, and it's taken away by Nate Schmidt. Luosterainen's breakout pass gets broken up, and almost a big takeaway there from Janmark, but he'll go back and reset it here for the Oilers with 12:25 and ticking to go in the third. Kulak waits for it. Kulak now will retreat back and restart again. Backhand pass to the zone. It'll go right to Bobrovsky, and we'll get a stoppage at play. 12:15 to go in the third. Just moments ago, Matthias Ekholm, with his first of the playoffs, ties the game up at 3 here in game one of the Stanley Cup Finals. I don't think you could have asked for a more entertaining game, number one, right? I mean, we've had a bunch of goals. We've had some really good saves, and we have a tie hockey game here in the third period, and we'll see if either team can find the back of the net again before this period ends, because otherwise we'll have overtime in game one, which would be nuts. So I'm trying to look here. I mean, it's what you're pretty much seeing, honestly, is that the Oilers have really, really just come out and continued to be aggressive. As my brother was saying before this period started, just got to continue to put pressure and make it uncomfortable for Bobrovsky. And, he gets screened in front by several of his own teammates, and Ekholm's able to take advantage of it. Bench, start, cut, Rook, Divvy Tree, and Starbucks. These are 3 coffee places, with Starbucks being the obvious one. Divvy Tree and Rook are 2 local ones here in New Jersey. I would honestly put it in the order of I would start Rook, bench Divvy Tree, and cut Starbucks. I don't like Starbucks really at all. If I had to choose like one of the regular, like big brand coffee places to go, I would probably pick Dunkin', if I'm being honest. That's personally what I would pick. So that's my answer. So again, start Rook, bench Divvy Tree, and cut Starbucks is my order. But a great job there as Mattias Ekholm gets the Oilers tied here. McDavid, unsurprisingly, gets on the score sheet. There's now a shot there from Florida, gets blocked. In the right corner now in the Edmonton zone at 11:54 to go in the period. That shot just wide of Reinhart. Another try by Forsling gets blocked as well. Puck still in the offensive zone for Florida, but it gets deflected out, and Forsling will just dump it in. As now the Panthers will make a change. So that goal, and I mentioned it before that goal. I said the next one's going to be big, and that was a big one indeed. McDavid up the right side, trying to get around a defender, still with the puck in the left corner. Top of the point now to Wallman, right side to Bouchard. Right side along the boards to Draisaitl. Drops it off for McDavid, who loses the puck to Mikkola. Panthers trying to get it out, and they're just able to deflect it in midair out. Mikkola drop pass now to Lundell. Tried to feed it over to a teammate. Gets blocked, gets broken up. Now Draisaitl the other way. Draisaitl with a soft shot that goes wide of Bobrovsky. Then another rebound chance is snuffed out by Bouchard. We get a stoppage with 10:58 to go in the third. So RJ with a little sports / baseball breaking news here. One of Japan's baseball icons has passed away. Shigeo Nagashima, who was known in the country as, quote, Mr. Pro Baseball, end quote, died at age 89. The Yomiuri Giants confirmed on Tuesday. So one of the greats of Japanese baseball has passed away at the age of 89, which is still a very, very long life. Because that shot there by Verhaeghe gets blocked away, and that puck will go all the way back down to the Florida zone. It'll be enough for an icing here with 10:42 to go in this period. I just have a feeling, guys. I just have a feeling that Carter Verhaeghe is going to end up, if the Panthers win, he's going to end up getting the game-winning goal. He's been all over the ice tonight. He has 2 assists already. He's played a very, very strong game. He's had a couple of chances, hasn't been able to connect yet. And I just think that he's primed to be the hero for Florida tonight. Puck now near the Oilers bench in the Edmonton zone, as both teams whacking at it. Verhaeghe and Wallman fighting along here. Puck is loose. Ekblad controls it for Florida, and he'll backhand it into the left corner of the Oilers. Now Wallman retreats and gets it, and he'll dump it out. Verhaeghe almost able to create an offensive chance there. He gets it back, feeds it in front, but it gets broken up. And Evander Kane tries to dump it out. He can't. Some good forechecking here by the Panthers. As now Verhaeghe with the puck. Verhaeghe gets it top of the point to Forsling. Forsling dumps it over to Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe fighting along with Nugent Hopkins. Puck is still loose. It's under Verhaeghe, and it's finally taken away by Nugent Hopkins. And he tries to just lightly dump it out as both teams make a half change. And that one goes all the way down back into the Oilers zone, and it's enough for an icing here against Florida with 9:37 to go in this third period. Start, bench, cut. Talking to someone specific, NHL trains. I'm a pretty sociable person, so I'll say start uh, to someone specific, bench NHL and cut trains. That's the way I would. That's the way. That's my order for that. Also, RJ saying NFL will allow players to participate in the 2028 Summer Olympics in LA, which will include flag football as a sport. The LA games are scheduled to take place from July 14th to July 30th, again of 2028, over 3 years from now. It'll be very interesting to see who ends up playing in the NFL, who ends up playing in the Olympics. That is going to be very interesting when we get to that point. Puck loose here. That shot, that is stopped by Bobrovsky and nearly went in off a shot from McDavid. Oh, it was on the line, but it got cleared away. Big opportunity there for the Oilers superstar to give them the lead, but he could not get it. McDavid back into the zone. McDavid shot there is stopped and covered on a gloved save from Bobrovsky with 9:01 to go in this period. The shot from McDavid hit off the shoulder of Bobrovsky, and honestly, if it wasn't touched, it wasn't going to go in, but still a close shot nonetheless. Is McDavid looking there to try to give the Oilers the lead? This has been a very entertaining period and a very entertaining game one of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Stanley Cup finals, excuse me. You need a penalty shot goal to win the cup. Do you go with TJ Oshie or TJ Sochi, as people called him back in the 2014 Olympics, or the Magic Man, Pavel Datsyuk? That is a great question. A great question, because these are two very talented guys in the shootout. Oh, it's tough. It's tough. But I'm going to go with Pavel Datsyuk. I just think that he has a bit more in his toolbox where he can make a lot of different moves. I don't think that TJ Oshie couldn't come up with a couple more moves, but if you think about it, like a lot of the goals that he scored were fairly similar. That's not a knock on him, because he clearly had read the book very well on Bobrovsky in those Olympics and did a great job in his own right. But I just think with the level of skill and stick ability that the Magic Man Pavel Datsyuk has, I think he just gives me, if we're going to play the odds there, I think he has the better. I like my chances more with Pavel Datsyuk than I would with TJ Oshie. So that's my. But that was a really good question. That was really good, because that was tougher than you think, especially if you've seen both of these guys play. Which is crazy now to think that, especially with this newer generation of hockey fans, they didn't grow up on Pavel Datsyuk, and not even that much on TJ Oshie either. But if you have a chance and you haven't yet, go and look at those guys, because both of them tremendous players, especially in the shootout. Back to the action here, 8:50 and ticking to go in this third. Oilers control it now. Darnell Nurse for Edmonton. Tries to make a stretch feed that gets broken up by Kulikov. Kulikov tried to make a pass to Barkov, got broken up. Puck right in front of the Oilers bench. Brad Marchand takes it away for Florida, tries to get around defender, gets around one, stops, turns around, waits, wrist shot. That's stopped by Skinner. Puck is loose, but it's controlled there by Edmonton. Good play by Connor Brown to keep that one from being a rebound chance. Panthers now in the zone, waits. Kulikov with a shot that gets blocked. Nate Schmidt keeps it in for Florida. Good pressure here from the Panthers. Marchand with it now. Shot there, goes wide. Opportunity, fakes the slap shot. Sharp angle try by Lundell, hits the side of the net. Oilers desperately got to get it out here. Kulikov can't keep it in, and it does officially get out of the zone. And that's whacked into the zone again as both teams make a change with 7:45 to go in this third period. And that pass almost intercepted by Tkachuk. Now the Oilers come into the offensive zone, and they'll dump it in off that. with 7.5 minutes to go in this period. Game tied at 3. Mattias Ekholm with the only goal this period for Edmonton. Verhaeghe, wrist shot. That gets broken up before it reaches the net. Now the Oilers look to try to come the other way. Great keep in there by the Oilers. Now they have it in the zone. Arvidsson fighting along with Ekblad. Now once intercepted by Matthew Tkachuk, and Sam Bennett will calmly dump it back in as now both teams will switch up lines here with 7 minutes to go in this third game, tied at 3 here of this game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. That long shot goes right into the breadbasket of Bobrovsky, and we'll get a face-off here with 6:53 to go in this third. You need someone to miss a penalty shot. Jack Hughes or Nate Bastian? What do you think? You need to miss a penalty shot. Who's more likely to miss a penalty shot? Jack Hughes or not Brendan Smith. Jack Hughes or Nate Bastian? I feel like it's got to be Jack Hughes, no? I mean, Jack Hughes misses the net completely. A lot of times, Jack Hughes just completely misses the net. There's no stack. There's no way I could come up with that. Hockey Muse and look up what? Should I ask ChatGPT who misses the net more? Nate Bastian or Jack Hughes? It'd be so funny. I'm not going to do that. That shot by Bouchard is fought off by the pad of Bobrovsky. Ekholm controls it again for Edmonton. It just feels like the Oilers have been the better team in this period. And obviously they got rewarded with that goal to tie it. Third period shots on goal, 8-2, in favor of the Oilers here. As we get a face-off with 6:16 to go in the third. Overall shots on goal, 30-26 in favor of the Oilers. So again, like it definitely feels like the Oilers have locked in a lot in this period, and the Panthers are kind of playing a lot more on their heels. They're showing Maria Buskova, who apparently defeated Coco Gauff this is tennis, by the way, in the Roland Garros, which is in France. And because this is on TNT, they're going to promote that because they also have been broadcasting the tennis tournament, the Roland Garros. Face off to the left of Bobrovsky here in the Florida zone. Florida wins it, and Forsling will dump it out. And that one's almost taken away by Marchand. But now the Oilers will control. Woolman, now over to Klingberg. Klingberg will flip it into the Florida zone where Ekblad gets to it first, and he'll dump it out. Kapanen, his pass gets blocked, and then he's able to dump it in. Bobrovsky will lightly play it. And that one's almost taken away by Kapanen, taken away by Klingberg. Klingberg, wrist shot, and that one stopped. Rebound try is stopped by Bobrovsky. Another opportunity from the point is stopped and covered by Bobrovsky. And then we have some pushing and shoving from Ekblad and Vander Kane after it. Bobrovsky looked like one of those shots got him up high, and he looks a little shaken up from it. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, but we get a stoppage of play. 5:36 to go in the third. Game tied at 3 here. Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals between the Florida Panthers and Edmonton Oilers. So Jeff, who do you like? Who do you like to get the game winner for both teams? So we'll start with Florida. Who do you like? You're going Eetu Luostarinen, really? Why? Because you like the name? You like his name. Okay, fair. And for Edmonton, are you going to you're going to say another name that you think is funny? Yeah, he's definitely going to say it. So his prediction for the game-winning goal for Florida is Eetu Luostarinen, which would be so funny if that ends up being the case. And who else? And for Edmonton?
Bouchard.
Evan Bouchard? Okay. Bucci. You're the only one that's probably said that.
No, I literally heard it.
Where'd you hear it from? Paul Bissonnette or Paul Mistanet.
Somebody said it. What was that game? The game winner against
What?
the Kings.
Oh, the Kings. And what was it? ESP? It was probably Arda O'Cal that probably said like Bucci bomb or something like that. I could totally see that.
So he hit those 6 shots from the blue line.
He's one of the best defensemen in the game right now. Look at that Stanley Cup. Who is that actor?
That's Taylor Kitsch. The guy
Taylor Kitsch?
from True Detective.
Is that all he's known for?
No, he's got other stuff.
Okay, I have no idea. I don't know who Paul Kitsch is. Okay. Is it? Oh, he's Canadian. That makes sense. He's Canadian. You think he's an Oiler fan? Yeah, let's see where he's from.
He's from BC.
He's from BC, so he's probably a Canuck fan. He could, although I mean, he could be. I don't know. With the provinces, it's always tough to see, how much the fan base is spread out throughout. I mean, Kyle, our good friend Kyle here on the channel, he's a Flames fan that lives just outside of Toronto. So
Why is that?
he likes the Flames. He said earlier tonight, he said F the Oilers.
Yeah, dude, it's a thing.
What's the thing?
Boosh bomb.
Okay, great. So we have discovered the Booch bomb. Is that shot there from Florida stopped? A couple of good blocks in front there. Defensemen for the Oilers have done a really good job, especially in this third period, of getting bodies in front. Why are they showing second period shots on the screen? Somebody screwed it. There you go. Third period shots now currently 11-2 in favor of Edmonton. Kapanen behind the net. Feeds it in front of Nugent Hopkins, and that one is stopped by Bobrovsky. That was a nice no look behind the back pass from Kapanen behind the net to Nugent Hopkins. Bobrovsky in good position to make the save. That shot there into the left corner. Donnell asking Neil, do you feel that game one might go to overtime? I think there's a good chance, especially being this late, but you never know. But I like to think that there's a good chance. I got a feeling. I got a feeling. We'll see. We'll see. Barkov intercepts it. Takes a shot that gets blocked. Another opportunity and a good save from Stuart Skinner on Sasha Barkov. I think Barkov was actually looking to try to make a pass there. Ended up being a shot on goal, but Stuart Skinner stops it nonetheless. Ekholm over now to Bouchard, who will dump it in with 4 minutes to go in this third period game, tied at 3. Essentially, at this point, the next goal is probably going to be the game winner. Is now Wallman takes a shot, a slow shot that's easily gloved by Bobrovsky with 3:53 to go in the third. So good job there from Sam Reinhart to break up that clear-out pass that resulted in that opportunity. And then moments before that, great play from Kasperi Kapanen, who makes that feed to Nugent Hopkins, but he could not get it past Bobrovsky. Sasha Barkov, 6 goals in 17 games in these playoffs, the captain of the Florida Panthers. It's funny how sometimes the graphic will say Sasha Barkov, and then sometimes it'll say Alexander Barkov. I try to say what he prefers to be called. So I think he prefers to be called Sasha. So, I'd have to look up more like why that is the case. 3.5 minutes to go in this third period. Game tied at 3. Wallman drops it off now. Gets it over just out of the reach of Arvidsson. Podkolzin keeps it in for a moment. Nosek intercepts it. Boquist now up to Brad Marchand. Brad Marchand loses the puck. Tries to regain it. It's controlled by Nosek. And now the Panthers will firmly control. Forsling. That'll chip off Boquist's stick and into the zone. Puck behind the net. Nosek almost took it away. Hits 42-36 in favor of Florida. Jesper Boquist almost was able to control that, but it's broken up, and now the Oilers back in the offensive zone. Podkolzin with the toe drag shot, and that one is stopped. He used the body there, but Bobrovsky stood him up and makes the save. He denies his fellow countryman. Oh, that was a great chance from the former Canuck Podkolzin there as he used the body and the power move to make a stop. Connor is banking on a 5-4 overtime game for the Panthers. So he is saying that both teams are going to score another goal in the next 2 minutes and 15 seconds, and then we're going to end up 5-4. That would be incredible. That would be an incredible. That would just add on to what has been a tremendous game one of these finals. Nate Schmidt over to Sam Bennett, who will flip it out. 2 minutes to go in this third period. Game tied at 3. Corey Perry will dump it back in where Mikkola will control for Florida. Nico Mikkola one-hands it off the boards and out, and Matthew Tkachuk will dump it in. Stuart Skinner stops it first for Edmonton. Wraps it around the boards. Dumps it out. Puck goes back into the Edmonton zone where Skinner, dangerously played that puck. Intercepted by Florida. Rodriguez with it now. Around the boards to the left side to Mikkola. Mikkola around the other way back to Rodriguez. Rodriguez shot. That gets blocked in front. Edmonton is able to get it out. Trying to go the other way with numbers. Connor McDavid can't get around Seth Jones. And that gets broken up. Sam Reinhart with it now. Reinhart still, he'll lightly tap it in. 1 minute to go in this third period here. Game tied at 3. Wallman with it now. He'll flip it into the Panthers zone where Bobrovsky will play it over to Forsling. Forsling up the boards now, and that's going to go all the way down. And that'll be an icing here against the Panthers with 49.7 to go in this one. So the Oilers, again, have still scored the only goal of this period early on from Matthias Ekholm, who got it just his first of the playoffs. Granted, he was hurt for a decent period of time, but he gets it and it comes at a great time. And now it really is essentially next goal wins. That's the way I look at it. Face off to the right of Bobrovsky in the Florida zone. Face off won by the Oilers. Bouchard with it now. Marchand broke his stick. That shot there is blocked to the right corner. Oilers trying to keep it in. They do. Connor Brown behind the net. Chips it up now to McDavid. Right side now to Draisaitl behind the net. Draisaitl fighting along with Ekblad. Draisaitl over to McDavid behind the net. McDavid waits. Gets to top of the point. Drive by Bouchard goes wide of Bobrovsky. That deflects up. Marchand will backhand it out. And it's going to be enough for another icing here with 18.4 to go in this third period. Marchand holding up his stick. I think he's looked. Paul Maurice also trying to get the attention of the refs. I'm not sure exactly what they're looking for. Maybe this. Oh, it did go out of play. Okay, I see what they're saying. So the Oilers are complaining that this shouldn't have been an icing. The puck came out of the puck hit the netting. I mean, I don't think it matters that much, though, because the reality is that the faceoff would still be in the Florida zone. But also, I mean, it would allow the Panthers to change lines. After talking about, and I think they did give them the benefit of the doubt there. So the Panthers are able to switch lines, although the faceoff will still be in the Florida zone. Faceoff be to the right of Bobrovsky here. 18.4 to go in this third period. Game tied at 3 here in game 1 of this year's Stanley Cup Finals. Draisaitl and Barkov in the faceoff dot. McDavid to the right of Draisaitl. Mikkola to the right of Barkov. And now the refs are actually looking at the replay here because they're going to probably have to add time since that puck hit off the netting. So they got to go back and look. So we have a little bit of a stoppage here. A little bit of a stoppage. So they did put more time back on. Now we're at 25.3. So instead of 18.4, we're at 25.3 seconds to go in this period. Faceoffs 30-22 in favor of the Panthers. Make that 31-22 as the Panthers win that one. Rodriguez will dump it out. 15 seconds to go in the period. And that deflects into the Panther bench with 14 and a half seconds to go. Slow moving last minute of play here in this third period. You're definitely going to see the Oilers have their big guys out there, McDavid and Draisaitl and all of them. They want to try to find a way to get this goal here late. And I mean very late. Face-off won by Barkov and the Panthers again. Barkov will go back. He'll one bank it off the boards. But now Draisaitl almost keeping it in. 3 seconds to go in the period. One last shot here. McDavid with a shot that goes wide of the net. And ladies and gentlemen, we have overtime in game one of the Stanley Cup Finals. So Mattias Ekholm with the only goal of that period. That tied the game up. And that's where things stand after 60 minutes of play. And so we will have some OT drama here in just the first game. Connor's asking, has Matthew Tkachuk even done anything all game? I've seen him on the ice a couple of times, but he's really not been much of a factor. And this is what I was alluding to before, where I was saying that I think whatever injury he was dealing with at the Four Nations, I think is still affecting him. And as we all know, once this series comes to an end and there's locker room cleanup and all that stuff, is when we'll most likely find out what a lot of these guys have been dealing with throughout the playoffs, et cetera, et cetera. So, we'll see. We'll see. But now's not the time to be worrying about that. Now's the time to be focusing on, we have overtime in game number one. I am so excited here. Next goal wins. Make sure to leave your predictions in the chat. Who do you think's going to win? And who do you have scoring those game-winning goals? It's going to be a lot of fun. We will step aside for a little bit and have a commercial break.
Whether you're looking for courtside or upper deck, opening day or opening night, comedy or concerts. With Game Time Picks, we make buying tickets easy by serving up only the best deals on sports, music, and shows.
What time is it?
It's game time. Whether you're looking for courtside or upper deck, opening day or opening night, comedy or concerts. With Game Time Picks, we make buying tickets easy by serving up only the best deals on sports, music, and shows.
What time is it?
It's game time. Whether you're looking for courtside or upper deck, opening day or opening night, comedy or concerts. With Game Time Picks, we make buying tickets easy by serving up only the best deals on sports, music, and shows.
What time is it?
It's game time. Whether you're looking for courtside or upper deck, opening day or opening night, comedy or concerts. With Game Time Picks, we make buying tickets easy by serving up only the best deals on sports, music, and shows.
What time is it?
It's game time. Whether you're looking for courtside or upper deck, opening day or opening night, comedy or concerts. With Game Time Picks, we make buying tickets easy by serving up only the best deals on sports, music, and shows.
What time is it?
It's game time. Whether you're looking for courtside or upper deck, opening day or opening night, comedy or concerts. With Game Time Picks, we make buying tickets easy by serving up only the best deals on sports, music, and shows.
What time is it?
It's game time. Whether you're looking for courtside or upper deck, opening day or opening night, comedy or concerts. With Game Time Picks, we make buying tickets easy by serving up only the best deals on sports, music, and shows.
What time is it?
It's game time.
And welcome everybody here to our quick intermission report. And we are still live because guess what, folks? We have overtime in game one of the Stanley Cup Finals as Matthias Ekholm, off a beautiful feed from Connor McDavid, got the only goal of the period that tied the game up. The Oilers have come back from down 3-1 in this game to tie it up. And now we are going into overtime, and we'll see who has the flair for the dramatics here in this first game. Ronald from Facebook actually is chiming in. Thank you so much. He says, Oilers for the win in overtime. All right. So there you go. Like it. Andrew B saying, how are you feeling so far? Honestly, I've been very entertained, Andrew, and I've really enjoyed interacting with everybody here in the chat, which again, if you have not already, please leave a like on the stream. Also subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get notified when we go live for live watch-alongs throughout the Stanley Cup Finals. We'll be live right here again, less than 48 hours away for game number 2. I will be on live for that one. We'll be live for games 3 and 4 as well. We'll try to be on live for every single game of the Stanley Cup Finals. And I mean, for me, as someone who just loves doing these broadcasts, doing the play-by-play, I really love that I get an opportunity to call an overtime goal. It always gets me excited. And I'm really excited for, I'm going to use the word excited about a million times. I'm really looking forward to this. It's going to be awesome. Connor said, Florida will be much happier to get into overtime. I think with the way that third period went for Florida, I think that they are definitely going to take that. And knowing that, hey, look, we didn't play all that well. We gave up the tying goal, but guess what? All we got to do is just get one more and we win this game anyway, and it doesn't matter. And then you've already taken the home ice advantage away from them. So that's the way you look at it. So, yeah, I mean, it wasn't a great period. I feel like Edmonton – I feel like it's been fairly even in the sense of there have been moments where the Oilers have been dominant, and then there's been moments where the Panthers have been dominant. When game 1, Edmonton starts to get PTSD of last season, I'm sure that would probably be some of the case for some of the fans if that ends up happening. So Andrew's prediction for goal scorers for either team, he's going to go with Darnell Nurse or Connor McDavid to win it for Edmonton. He's going to go with Sam Bennett to finish off and get that hat trick. He has 2 of the goals tonight, but get that hat trick and win it for Florida. So for me, I will say from Edmonton's side, I'm going to go with somebody who already has a game-winning goal in these playoffs and has a series-winning goal in these playoffs for Edmonton. That's Kasperi Kapanen. I just think that, he's had a couple of really good chances. He's been on that top line at times with Connor McDavid, as long as played with Draisaitl. I think that he's a guy that could definitely sneak into a good position and get one and win this game. So I'm going to go with Kasperi Kapanen. For Florida, there's so many guys that I can just throw out there in many ways, but I'm going to go with Anton Lundell. So I'm not going to go with any of the big guys. I'm always kind of like that. But I'm going to go with Anton Lundell. to win it. So, and Jeff's predictions, as he said before, he's going to go E2 Luosterainen for Florida. And then for Edmonton, you had who again? Evan Bouchard. So there you go. Connor's going with Mikko Mikkola to win this one. Nice. I like that none of us are picking the obvious ones. Well, I mean, Andrew did pick McDavid and also Sam Bennett and Darnell. I mean, like, but we say that, right? We say like we're gonna pick. We don't want to pick the obvious ones because it's easy to just predict those guys. But there's times where that ends up exactly being the case. I also have a cup of coffee just in case. Just in case this goes longer than the first overtime. I mean, Erica already spoke into existence about it being 7 overtimes, so who knows? We might get that, but we'll see what happens here as this overtime has officially gone underway. So we'll see how it goes as Barkov comes in immediately. Barkov with its shot just goes wide of Skinner. Barkov trying to end it immediately, feeds it over. That one's deflected, pops up in the air, and Skinner covers. That one was up in the air. Reinhart trying to whack it out of midair, but Skinner is able to cover it before all chaos happens. But right away, Panthers trying to put on some pressure here and try to end this one early. That one really just like popped in the air, and then he backhanded it right into Skinner. So not what you want there, but nonetheless. Face off to the right of Skinner here in the Edmonton zone, just 19 seconds into this overtime period. Face off won by the Oilers, and Bouchard will flip it out. All-time overtime records in the Stanley Cup final. Panthers are 1-1. The Oilers are a perfect 3-0. That's pretty. And it's pretty crazy for Edmonton. Is that shot there goes wide. Rebound try is stopped by Skinner. Marchand controls it for Florida. Marchand with a shot. That one trickles just wide. Lundell standing right there. Jones with a shot there that gets blocked by Bouchard. Ekblad chips it up to Luosterainen. Luosterainen out of Lundell. Lundell in front hits the side of the net. And the Oilers will come the other way. It's Connor McDavid. McDavid up to Draisaitl. Just out of the reach, picked up here by Connor Brown, who will dump it around the boards. Verhaeghe passes it back to Ekblad, where he'll control just a little over a minute into this period. Eric is going with Verhaeghe for Florida and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, the Nuge, for Edmonton. I'm liking it. Puck come the other way is Verhaeghe around the boards. Over to Matthew Tkachuk. Matthew Tkachuk in the left corner. Verhaeghe fighting along here with Wallman. Puck is loose. Bennett gets to it. Now to Kulikov. Left side now. Wait. Wrist shot. That gets blocked. Rebound try is stopped by Skinner. Opportunity again here for Florida as they control it. Verhaeghe with it now. Verhaeghe turnaround shot deflected. Stopped by Skinner. Klingberg trying to get it out. And he gets up to Arvidsson, who dumps it out. Panthers aren't able to stay on sides here. But now the Oilers come the other way. Might be a 2-on-1. Podkolzin again. Backhand try wide of Bobrovsky. Bennett softly flips it up to Boquist. Jesper Boquist. He'll dump it into the right corner. Darnell Nurse controls it for Edmonton. And that puck bounces into the Florida zone. And now the Panthers will control it here as Seth Jones has it. Up to Boquist. Boquist up the left side. Boquist with space. Boquist with a wrist shot that gets blocked. And now Connor Brown will control it. For a moment, tried to get it to Henrique, but it gets broken up. Puck near the Oilers bench. Henrique backhands it in. And Miklo will control it over to Seth Jones now for Florida. Seth Jones with it now. Jones with a shot. That's deflected high and wide. Gets over now. Opportunity. That shot there gets deflected up. Now to play 17:09 to go in this first overtime. So a couple good chances just moments ago for Florida's Verhaeghe. Oh, my goodness. If Verhaeghe had gotten his stick on that, it is a goal, as he was just inches away from ending this one. Carter Verhaeghe and Corey Perry are currently tied for the most postseason overtime goals among active players. Patrick Kane also on that list, tied with those two guys at 5. Brad Marchand is also on that list, he has 4. So he's one away from tying for the most of any active player. So we got a lot of guys, especially in these finals, that have a lot of experience with these game-winning goals in overtime in the playoffs. Puck in the left corner now. Puck bounces up in the air, comes right to Bobrovsky, has to make a save. McDavid controls it. Gets double the point to Bouchard. Bouchard with a shot. That one gets through, but wide of Bobrovsky. As now Rodriguez comes up the right side, and he'll dump it around the boards into the Oilers zone, where Bouchard will control it for Edmonton. Ekholm. Now over to Bouchard. One hands that one into the Panther zone. Jones banks it off the boards. Edmonton gets to it, and they'll dump it into the right corner in the Florida zone. Lundell controls it now for Florida, and he'll flip it out. Kasperi Kapanen comes in. Kapanen out. Bobrovsky. That one's taken away. Evander Kane makes a save. Slap shot there, and a diving block by Luosterainen goes up and out of play as Jake Wallman with a slapper there, but couldn't get it even on net on a great diving play there by the Panthers. And the Oilers just moments ago nearly had too many men on the ice. They got away with one there. Evander Kane just threw that on net. It ended up getting to Bobrovsky, who cleared it away, but then a great diving block with the right knee from Luosterainen denies Wallman there. Matthew Tkachuk, he tried to bank it off. It hits off the ref. And now the Oilers will control it. Here's Wallman. Gets it out. And now it's taken away. Eetu Luosterainen, 4 shots on goal for the centerman, but he also has 3 blocks as well. He's had a very, very active night for sure. Kulikov controls it for Florida. Now once banked off, and it looked like it ends up being an offsides, and Kulikov and Arvidsson with pushing and shoving. Ekblad and Podkolzin also with some choice words, just 4.5 minutes into this overtime frame. Shots on goal currently 38-30 in favor of Edmonton. I feel like Aaron Ekblad has been in the middle of a lot of things. Oh, I could see. Okay, now I see what's going on. Ekblad just comes over to Arvidsson and gives him a little cross check for reasons I don't know. I may have missed it earlier. Face-off looks like it's going to be at center ice here. It's both teams making a change. So get our first kind of semi-stoppage here. You know, Corey Perry was very active in the first period. Not in a good way, though. He had 2 different penalties, but fortunately for Edmonton, neither one of them ended up becoming a goal. But since then, he's been on his best behavior. Connor saying Panthers catching Oilers on shots on goal. At one point, the Panthers were winning on the shots on goal, and at other points, it was even. It's just that the Oilers, especially in that third period, really stepped up the pressure. Shots now 38-29. They took away 2 different shots from Florida. 38-29 Edmonton. That's dumped in. It's now taken away. Rodriguez with a shot, and it's fought off by the glove of Skinner. And it's dumped out of the zone, where Seth Jones will have to go back. And that will be an icing here against the Oilers. So that came off a turnover, and Evan Rodriguez looking to try to end it. But Skinner just gets enough of it with his glove to deny him. Actually, a pretty solid feed there from Reinhart on that Rodriguez shot. And that actually touched a little bit of Sasha Barkov in front. OT chances 4-0 in favor of Florida, which doesn't surprise me considering that Florida's been the better team in terms of pressure so far here in this overtime. What's the point of taking shots on goal away? That's just just to be correct, to be as correct as possible. That's the best answer I could give you for that. I think it's also because, it's for stats, like, especially like when you think about all-time stats and stuff, like they want to make sure that they're correct, because you think it doesn't matter. And then you look at the grand scheme of things and actually at times does matter. hand pass here against the Panthers. So we had a stoppage, 14:33 to go in this overtime. Corey Perry having some choice words for somebody on Florida. Might be, and of course it's Aaron Ekblad. Aaron Ekblad is literally in the middle of everything. So what's the complaint? I don't know exactly. I think Perry was actually just retaliating from the when Ekblad, cross-checked Victor Arvidsson a few moments ago. Corey Perry again playing in his 6th Stanley Cup final, his 5th final in the last 6 years. So he has been a very active participant in being in these finals. And you think about it, right? You think you're going through so many rounds and everything. He's played so much playoff hockey over the last couple of years. Oilers control the puck right now. Kulak over to Darnell Nurse. Nurse banks that off the boards. Bobrovsky one-hands that one to the left corner where Gadjevich gets it up to Tomas Nosek. And that pass is broken up where Kulak almost lost it there. And that one's dumped back into the Florida zone without control. Jesper Boquist up the center of the ice. Boquist will dump it in. Goes to the left corner. Nosek gets to it. He chips it around. It's broken up. Now Trent Frederick will calm it down and control it easily for Edmonton. Nurse banks it off the boards and gets it up to Kulak, who will backhand it in. Bobrovsky plays it up to Seth Jones. Now to Sam Bennett with space. Bennett up the right side, and he'll bank it into the offensive zone. Skinner around the boards, gets it out. And it goes back where Nico Mikkola will get there first for Florida. Mikkola over now to Seth Jones. Tkachuk will slow it up. Tried to feed it to Verhaeghe, but he didn't see it coming. And it's taken away by Edmonton here. Evander Kane will dump it in. As now Verhaeghe up to Tkachuk, and he gets it out. Sam Bennett stops, tries to get it to Tkachuk. Would have had him going there, but didn't get it. Now Kasperi Kapanen comes through. Kapanen with a shot, and he gets a big-time save by Bobrovsky. Oh, Kapanen weaved his way through 2 defenders and got a great chance, but Bobrovsky denies him there as Kapanen nearly winning this one for Edmonton. That would have been a great highlight reel play to win this game. So just great moves, couple great moves. And Bobrovsky got just enough of it. Got around Seth Jones and Mikkola. And then Bobrovsky, he tried to poke check him. And Kapanen definitely showing his anger there. Definitely not happy. As a hit off, as Bobrovsky's able to make a save with his left leg pad just enough to keep the Oilers from winning the game. That stretch pass gets broken up, but Ekholm recovers and dumps it in. And that puck almost came out in the slot. Drive here by Ekholm gets blocked. Puck behind the net. Left side now with Draisaitl. Round the other side. Now Bouchard with it. Left side to Ekholm. Ekholm now with it. With a shot. That one gets stopped. Puck is loose. And the Panthers will flip it out. And that goes all the way down for an icing here against the Panthers with 12:14 to go. Connor's saying Corey Perry is the master of losing finals too. Well, I mean, his all-time record now is 1 in 5. No, what am I? Yeah, 1 in 5 currently, and he's not had a lot of success. Well, no, if this is 6th final, that would be he is 1 in 4 currently. Sorry, 1 in 4 with this one pending. I had to do the math. I don't know why my math wasn't mathing there. Oilers dump it into the right corner in the offensive zone. Aaron Ekblad gets there first for Florida, fighting along with McDavid. McDavid intercepts that, but he dumps it all the way back unintentionally into his own zone, and the Oilers will have to go back and restart. Darnell Nurse will wait as both teams making some moves here. Nurse with a long stretch feed. Now comes Janmark. Janmark waits. Janmark still with it, but it's broken up by Luosterainen. And now Mikkola will get to it, and he'll dump it back in. Puck still in the Edmonton zone right now. Some good pressure here. Comes out in front, but it's taken away by Kulak of Edmonton, and he'll dump it out. Janmark, he gets crunched by Forsling in the right corner. Mikula fighting along with Connor Brown. Intercepted by Edmonton. They get it. Left side to Wallman. Wallman shot. That gets blocked. Panther players without a stick. It's Lundell currently. Adam Henrique with it. Feeds it in front, and that one hit off the post. Oh, that was a weird play, and it got past Bobrovsky, but it hit the post. Icing here against the Panthers as the Oilers are putting on the pressure right now, as they almost again nearly ended this one. That was a weird play. Very, very weird. You got to see it again. Oh, excuse me. A great feed from Adam Henrique. Saucer feed to Frederick, who got a shot. But Bobrovsky with a nice T-push over to make that save. Who do you think has the most saves in NHL history, Brodeur or the post/crossbar? As much as I want to go with the GOAT, I think the post and the crossbar definitely have the most saves in NHL history. I just think it is. That shot there gets blocked. Nugent Hopkins in the left side fighting along with Anton Lundell. Puck now left, still in the left corner. Kulikov chips it up to Marchand, who will get it out of the zone. Luosterainen crunches Klingberg right in front of the Oiler bench. Because now it'll go back and the Oilers will regroup. Wallman over to Klingberg. Gets up to Kapanen. Now left side, now to Kane. Kane up to Kapanen. Kapanen with it now. Kasperi Kapanen. Backhands it. Just out of the reach of Nugent Hopkins. Kulikov one-hands it along the boards. Puck gets loose. Evander Kane turnaround shot. Goes wide at Bobrovsky. Ekholm around the other side. Verhaeghe gets there first. Can't get it out. Intercepted. Gets over to Ekholm. Top of the point. Ekholm drive. That one is deflected wide. Left side now. McDavid. Connor McDavid with the puck. Stops. Waits. Dumps it off now to Draisaitl. Draisaitl. Now Ekholm drive. And that one is stopped and covered by Bobrovsky. 9:37 to go in this first overtime here of game one of this Stanley Cup Finals. As now we will get our only stoppage of play that we're allowed to have in this overtime, where the ice will get a little cleaner. So a little recap of the game. The Oilers struck first, 66 seconds in from Leon Draisaitl. Then goals from Sam Bennett and Brad Marchand made it 2-1. Bennett would get his second to make it 3-1 early in the second. Arvidsson would get one back moments later. That made it 3-2. And then Matthias Ekholm, on a great feed from McDavid, got the only goal of that third period that tied the game up at 3 and got us to where we are right now. So, again, it's still up for grabs for anybody. A lot of crazy fans, a lot of crazy Oiler fans right outside their arena. Absolutely love it. It must be an insane place. In a good way, an insane place to watch a hockey game. I just saw somebody who has like a custom like Chris Knobloch shirt right behind the Oilers bench. That's impressive. That's really impressive. I also don't think I've seen one Florida Panther fan like in the stands. I'm sure there is one somewhere, but I don't see one currently. Do not see one currently. It's funny how TNT doesn't even go to a commercial break during this like stoppage of play. This is more of like just a quick clean of the ice from the ice girls of the Oilers, and then it's just back to the game. Face off will be to the left of Bobrovsky here in the Florida zone. Shots on goal currently 42-29 in favor of the Oilers. Ref waiting to get the all clear. He does. And the face-off, a little false start, and Draisaitl gets kicked out. Now McDavid will go in for him. Face-off won cleanly by McDavid. Bouchard off the face-off. That shot goes wide of the net. Barkov fighting along with David in the left corner. Barkov now up to Wallman. Now up to Jones. Is that Jones? He'll dump it in. A lot of dumping chase in this overtime, which honestly is kind of to be expected when both teams' defenses start to really lock in here. As now Skinner will stop it here and let Ekholm control it. Ekholm now will wait, still waiting. Now he'll finally make a stretch pass at the flex off of Bouchard. No icing here as Bobrovsky will play it around the boards. Comes out in front, but Evan Rodriguez will get there first for Florida. And Rodriguez will backhand it in with 8:45 and ticking to go in this overtime. Arvidsson, he gets knocked off the puck, and Ekblad will control it now for Florida. Ekblad with a long feed, out of the reach of everybody, and it'll be an icing here against the Panthers with 8:32 to go in the overtime frame. Connor saying you could be sure when they play Florida, barely any Oilers fans will be there for various reasons. Yeah, I mean, I still think you'll see a lot of Oilers fans that are going to be down in Sunrise. We saw a lot last year, so you got to give them credit where credit is due. Face off one here by the Oilers. That shot gets wide, comes out in front, but it gets blocked. Kapanen controls it. Now over there, shot by Nurse gets blocked as well. Luosterainen looking for some help, gets it over to Gustav Forsling. Forsling gets knocked out of the puck by Kapanen. That puck's still in the Panthers zone currently. Luosterainen with Ekblad. Ekblad turns it over. Kulak waits, wrist shot through traffic, comes up and makes the save by Bobrovsky on the 43rd shot of the night from the Oilers. Bobrovsky getting a little tap to his defensive partners. We're able to make it easier for him to make that save. Faceoff will be to the left of Bobrovsky in the Florida zone here. Sometimes all it takes is one little bounce. That's usually how it goes. It's usually just somebody gets a bounce, and that's how it goes. Sam Bennett has 2 of the 3 goals tonight, also 5 shots on goal. Wallman with a shot that gets deflected wide. Verhaeghe just able to get it out, and Tkachuk will dump it back into the Edmonton zone. Sam Bennett couldn't keep it in. Panthers couldn't keep it in as that one deflected out of play. Sam Bennett again. He scores the game winner. Not only does he win game 1 for Florida, but he ends up with a hat trick in game number 1, which would be great. And for a guy that it just seems like with every game, he's increasing his market value. He'll be an unrestricted free agent at the end of the season. And there's been projections of him getting $8, $9, $10 million a year. And it'll be crazy to see what teams end up making an aggressive move to try to acquire him. And you got to wonder, is it more of just him playing in a walk year, or, can he continue this moving forward with wherever he keeps playing? And that pass is going to go all the way down, and it will be no icing here against Edmonton. Wow. Refs waved it off. But now the Panthers control, and Sam Bennett up the left side. Bennett around one defender. Bennett with it now. Waits. Backhand try, deflected out of play. 7:24 to go. Bennett looking to try to go coast to coast there for the game winner, but couldn't get a shot on goal. But that was impressive, though. That was impressive from the man we just mentioned. Nice move around Draisaitl. Bouchard, I think, got a stick on that to deflect that one out of play. Sam Bennett has 11 road goals this postseason, ties Mark Scheifele for the most in a single postseason. So his next road playoff goal, if he gets another one in these playoffs, will set a new record, which is, again, what a phenomenal year overall that Sam Bennett has had, especially in these playoffs. Face-off controlled here by Florida, but now Ekholm intercepts it and will control it for Edmonton here. He'll dump it out. And that one's almost intercepted in the zone. Nosek able to stay on sides. Nosek with a backhand try, but that one is covered by the chest of Skinner here with 7:01 to go. 27th save of the night for Stuart Skinner, who really has locked down since giving up that third goal early in the second period, has made several big saves that could have easily extended the Panther lead. but he has locked in a lot of late, and he's giving the Oilers a really good chance to win this game. Faceoff will be to the left of Stuart Skinner in the Edmonton zone with 7:01 to go in this first overtime. Faceoff won by the Oilers, and Brett Kulak will dump it out. Gets back into the Panther zone. Rodriguez can't knock it down. Now Barkov almost intercepted. The puck is still loose in the left boards in the Edmonton zone here. Still fighting for it, and Connor Brown just kicks it out. Aaron Ekblad calmly flips it back just out of Skinner's reach, but it's still touched up. Darnell Nurse loses the puck. Gadjevich tries to feed it in front, gets broken up. Evan Rodriguez now with it. Rodriguez, top of the point now. Right side of Ekblad. Ekblad with a shot that gets blocked. That hit the backboards. It came right out in front where Skinner will easily glove it here with 6:20 to go. The man, the myth, the legend, Dylan Kaiser saying, longest game ever in the finals coming up? Question mark. Wouldn't you love that, Neil? You know what, Dylan? Everybody thinks this is funny. I actually would, because it would be entertaining as hell. And Erica already manifested 7 overtimes tonight. So who knows? Maybe we'll get that wish. We still have 6:20 to go here, and in this first overtime. We got a ways to go before we get to that 7th overtime. But thank you so much for chiming in, man. Really, really do appreciate it. Longest game ever, and it would be something. It would be something, Dylan, for sure. Face off to the right of Skinner in the Edmonton zone, down in the right corner. Edmonton wins that face off, and they're able to get it out. Nico Mikkola off the boards, and it's controlled now by Woolman of the Oilers. With 6 minutes to go in this overtime. Klingberg over now to Kulak. Kulak, his pass is broken up, and Brad Marchand dumps it back in to the Oilers zone. Now one goes all the way down where Mikkola will get there first, and it's an icing here against the Oilers. 5:48 to go in the overtime frame. Looks like someone is without a glove for Florida, a stick and a glove. Broken stick and a glove, and I think that was Seth Jones. He lost the glove. He lost his glove, and he broke his stick. I don't know what happened there. Very strange. Face off back in the Edmonton zone to the right of Skinner. Face off one here by Edmonton, and Wallman will backhand it out, but unfortunately it goes all the way back down, and it'll be yet another icing here. Not what you want to see here in this situation, especially with these tired guys out there at this stage of the game. Showing Sam Bennett again. Panthers win that faceoff. Tkachuk's sharp angle shot gets blocked. Kapanen fighting along with Tkachuk here. Puck is bouncing, and it comes out of the zone where Ekblad will go back and restart it for Florida. Sam Bennett at center ice. Gets in the zone. Bennett waits. Wrist shot goes wide of Skinner. Bennett controls it again. Left side. Sam Bennett wrap around pass to Tkachuk behind the net. Tkachuk waits. Still with it now. Gets it over to Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe around the boards to the right side to Ekblad. Ekblad stops. He gets knocked off the puck for a moment by Paul Kozing. Tkachuk behind the net. Now to Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe still with it now. Verhaeghe loses the puck. Podkolzing trying to get it out of the zone. Podkolzing will backhand it, and he cannot get it out. Tkachuk keeps it in, just out of the reach off the stick of Sam Bennett. Oilers desperately got to get it out here. Kasperi Kapanen is able to get it to Podkolzing, and they clear. That was a long, dangerous shift there in their own zone for Edmonton, but they don't concede. Nate Schmidt comes right back in, but the Panthers are offsides with 4:34 to go. Jesper Boquist is confused. I think he was wondering who was specifically offsides. Paul Maurice is screaming on the bench. I think he definitely did not agree with that offsides call there, especially with his team coming into the zone. Faceoff will be at the faceoff dot right in front of the Florida bench. Mikkola gets to it, and he'll dump it into the Edmonton zone. Reinhart now with it behind the net. Sam Reinhart finding along with Kulak. Now Adam Henrique gets to it. Darnell Nurse controls it behind the net, banks it off the boards, and he just gets it out. Barkov tries to dump it back in, but it's broken up, and the Oilers, puck is bouncing a bit right in front of their bench. Still fighting for it is Adam Henrique and Evan Rodriguez. But now Nate Schmidt has it now for Florida. Schmidt off the boards, gets it up, and Barkov will dump it in as now the Panthers will make a change. Kulak, that one's intercepted by Seth Jones, who will fire it right back at Skinner, who had to make the save, and he'll just calmly play it to Kulak. Brett Kulak behind the net. He's looking around, calling out the play, because I'm sure this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to set up a play here to break out, but it gets taken away by Florida here. They come into the zone where Marchand will throw it on net. Corey Perry up to Draisaitl, who get it out. Seth Jones plays it back now for Florida. Connor McDavid gets up to Corey Perry. And that one goes all the way back down into the Edmonton zone. And that'll be an icing here against the Panthers with 2:56 to go in this first overtime. I will tell you guys right now, if this ends up going to another overtime, I think I may just put it on commercial break until we come back, because I need to give my voice a chance to heal a little bit here. Face-off won by Edmonton. But we get a little false start here, so we'll do it again. Face-off to the right of Bobrovsky in the Florida zone. Lundell against Nugent Hopkins in the face-off dot. Face-off won by Edmonton. Bouchard now to Ekholm. Drive. That gets blocked to the left side and wide. Now the Panthers look to try to come the other way. Brad Marchand trying to get their first stops. Takes a shot that's sticked aside easily by Skinner. And that one's going to get dumped all the way back down to the Florida zone. And it'll be an icing here against the Oilers with 2:34 to go in this overtime period. And thank you again to everybody who's been hanging out with us all night long. Again, my name is Neil Villapiano. I host the New Jersey Devils podcast here on the Hockey Podcast Network called the Devils State of Mind Podcast. Make sure to go check it out when you have the time. And also make sure to leave a like on the stream, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified every time we go live here on THPN throughout the Stanley Cup Finals. Face-off won by Florida, where Forsling will dump it into the right corner. Sam Bennett along with Vander Kane. Ekblad keeps it in. Sam Bennett couldn't control it. Ekholm now on the left side. Avoids the hit. He'll bank it around the boards, but Ekblad keeps it in for Florida. Ekblad still trying to keep it in here, but now Nugent Hopkins takes it away. Now the Oilers have much at speed. Here comes Bouchard. Bouchard coming in with a shot and a great save by Bobrovsky. He got around, Bouchard did, around the defenseman. Got a clean shot on goal, but Bobrovsky again denying the Oilers from winning this one. Now here comes Arvidsson with a shot, and that one's patted away by Bobrovsky. Puck behind the net where Tomas Nosek will control it for Florida. And he dumps it out, and is that going to be a delay of game? That is going to be, I think, a delay of game. It is. Tomas Nosek of the Panthers just dumped it out, and it's going to be a 2-minute delay of game penalty with 1:43 to go in this first overtime period. So the Oilers have a great opportunity on the man advantage here to try to win this game here in this first overtime. Cami Rodriguez, is hoping for a Panthers win. Thank you for giving some love on Facebook as well. Really, really do appreciate it. So the Oilers' two biggest chances in this overtime have come on a, getting around a defenseman, having a partial breakaway, like a very partial breakaway. But we'll see what they could do on this power play. Face off the right of Bobrovsky. False start here against McDavid. And they'll switch against Draisaitl, McDavid will have to go in. Face off won by the Oilers. And now they look to set it up as Nugent Hopkins has it right now. He stops, gets over to Bouchard. Bouchard with it. Now to Draisaitl. Back to Bouchard on the right side. To Connor McDavid. Now to Nugent Hopkins. To McDavid. McDavid to Bouchard, top of the point. To McDavid. Waits. Wrist shot. That one pops up and out of play. It was either blocked or deflected. Nonetheless, it goes out of play with 1:37 to go on this Oilers power play. So the face-off will be again to the right of Sergei Bobrovsky. This is the craziest game I've ever watched between those teams in overtime. It has been a fantastic, and this is only game one of this series. Another person on Facebook, Erman Murata, saying Oilers win 100%. A lot of we got confidence from fans of both teams. I love it. Absolutely love it. And I love we're getting a lot of love on Facebook too, as well as here on YouTube. And we're also live on Twitch as well at THPN. If you guys want to go subscribe to us over on Twitch, all of that would be greatly appreciated. Another false start here. Again, face off to the right of Bobrovsky. 1:37 to go in this Oilers power play. 1:20 to go in overtime. Both teams whacking in on the face-off dot. Aaron Ekblad gets to it for Florida, and he'll bank it off the boards and out. And Bouchard will go back and restart. Bouchard now gets to McDavid with speed. McDavid comes into the zone, drops it to Nugent Hopkins. Hopkins tried to backhand it, but now the Panthers come the other way, looking to try to get something shorthanded, but Forsling will just dump it back in as both teams make a change. Bouchard drops it up to McDavid again. McDavid comes up the center of the ice. Round one defender, waits, still with it now. Over to Nugent Hopkins. Hopkins backhands it now to Bouchard. Left side now to Hopkins. Hopkins now drops off to McDavid. McDavid in front, shot, and they score! It's Leon Draisaitl. He wins it in overtime, and the Oilers have taken game one at home, 4-3. Leon Draisaitl started this game off with a goal, and he ends this game with the game-winning goal in overtime, and the Oilers get the big game one victory here with a power play goal, his second goal of the night. It's Leon Draisaitl. What a finish. What a finish. So the Oilers, they get that big power play opportunity, and they take advantage of it. Beautiful feed, not surprisingly, from Connor McDavid, and he just finds his best friend and teammate, Leon Draisaitl, and the superstar from Germany ends this game late in the first overtime, and the Oilers go up 1-0 in the best of 7 series of this Stanley Cup final. Wow. There was just enough space on the glove side of Bobrovsky to get it past him, and Draisaitl gets himself his second of the night, and most importantly, the GWG in overtime. Gotta love it. Wow, what a fantastic game. What a fantastic night. On that note, I just want to say thank you to everybody tonight for hanging out with me throughout, interacting in the chat. Really do appreciate it. It was a lot of fun, and I'm so excited for game number 2. I will be back live here for game number 2 on THPN's YouTube channel on Friday night at 8 o'clock. Make sure to be there, and make sure, again, before the stream ends, to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified every time we go live here during the Stanley Cup Finals. Oh my Lord, Oilers got the first game in overtime. I knew they got it. Leon Draisaitl with the perfect shot to shot. I guess that was emojis that I'm reading. Perfect text, yellow goal to shot down. I'll take it. I'll take it. But nonetheless, thank you all so very much for hanging out with me tonight. And we will see you for game number 2 for a live watch along of it on Friday night. Everyone, continue to be the awesome people that you are. And as I always say at the end of every live watch along, make sure to rock on.